Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
All right.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, shall we start?
Yeah, I have all the judges come. Neela, Radhika, everyone, all of them have come.
This is Guha. Good morning, ma'am. I'm on the call now.
Good morning, Guha. How are you? Thank you for accepting our invite today.
Most welcome. Thank you. And how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Raj.
Privilege.
Neela
Yeah.
here.
Hi, Neela. Hi, Neela. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. As Dr. Radhika joined in, Kavita.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Krishna Kumar, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Kavita, has Colonel Vishwanath signed in?
Good morning, Rajshri ma'am.
Good morning, Radhika. Welcome. Thank you.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Vishwanath sir is here.
Yeah, is there? Okay.
Yes.
Then I think
Hi,
we can
Sajita.
Good morning, Radhika.
Good morning.
Hi, Radhika.
Hi,
Morning.
Neela.
Morning, Neela, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, Neela, ma'am.
Good morning.
Sajida, I think we can start.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. We just have a small video to be shown, our college video, and then immediately we're starting, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Sajida?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can we show the video a little later? Shall we start now? Because probably during the results time, there'll be a gap, no? Then probably we can show the video then.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, sure, ma'am.
Okay, let's start.
Thank you,
All are
yeah.
waiting. Let's start.
Yes, ma'am. Respected chief guest, jury members, vice principal ma'am, and all my dear participants, a very good morning to one and all. I am Sajida Khatun, and I feel privileged to welcome you all on behalf of Kastuba Gandhi Degree and PG College for Women to the National Virtual Conference on COVID-19, Boon or Bane. We start our today's session with an opening and welcome remarks by the coordinator of the conference, Dr. R. Rashri, Vice Principal and Head, Department of Commerce. I'm honored to welcome you, ma'am.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome to today's National Virtual Conference on COVID-19, Boon or Bane. I welcome the guests of the day, Professor T. Krishnakumar, Head Department of OU, Secunderabad, Mr. V.A. Guha Prasad, Colonel Vishwanath Kannan, Dr. Radhika Meenakshi, Professor Neela Kameshwari, and all the participants. Before I go on to introduce them, I would like to enlighten the audience about our institution and objective of today's conference. Named after the illustrious lady, Kasturba Gandhi, who stood by Mahatma Gandhi in thought and deed, Kasturba Gandhi Degree and PG College for Women was established in the year 1973 by the Osmania Graduates Association under the patronage of the Exhibition Society. It is situated in the heart of the city in Maratpalli, Secunderabad. Started with a modest strength of 175 students, it has now a strength of 2,800 students with 90 teaching faculty and 71 non-teaching faculty. Working towards our goal of providing value-based education to women, primarily economically backward, I take immense pride in letting you all know that our institution has been accredited by NAC with an A grade in 3 consecutive cycles. Recently, a survey was conducted by India Today and Education World, and Kasturba has been ranked among the top 100 colleges in India and 3rd best institution in the state of Telangana. The ranking is an indicator that we have maintained standards of excellence in all areas, curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular. Our endeavor is to always strive to excel in the advancement of knowledge with equal emphasis on values, thereby creating a platform for learning. The objective of the conference. The dawn of 2020 witnessed the outbreak of COVID-19, which has been declared as a global pandemic by WHO. The whole world is caught in the vortex of this pandemic, causing millions of people dying or being infected by the virus. Many measures have been taken by the governments worldwide, one of them being lockdown, which has taken every sector into its swirl. Since these lockdowns have become the order of the day, some sectors have come up with innovative solutions for the problem. The Department of Commerce, therefore, has taken the initiative of organizing this national virtual conference and has invited paper presentation from various avenues to analyze the consequences of the present situation the world is in. We have judges from varied areas of expertise like education, banking, entrepreneurship, defense, strategy, who will be judging today's presentations. The conference seeks to provide a platform to discuss if COVID-19 is a boon or a bane, to discuss the challenges and opportunities created by COVID-19, to understand the importance of lockdown in various sectors, and to understand and create awareness about various solutions being used to overcome the issues created by the lockdown. Having briefed about the objective of today's conference, I now take the privilege of introducing the guests of the day. The chief guest, Professor T. Krishnakumar Garu, Head Department of Osmania University, who will be giving the keynote address shortly, is a person who has more than 30 years of teaching experience. He has published articles in areas of entrepreneurship, organizational behavior, and corporate governance. Sir is a resource person in many universities all over India and is also a member of various professional bodies and other organizations. He was also the chairman, Board of Studies in Commerce, Osmania University. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invite today. Mr. V.A. Guha Prasad is a senior banker with more than 20 years experience in banking and finance industry. He is an alumnus of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and currently is working in an investment bank. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invite. Colonel Vishwanath Kannan is a second-generation Army officer. He is an alumnus of Indian Military Academy and the prestigious Defense Services Staff College, Wellington, from where he has done his MSc in Defense and Strategic Studies. The officer has also done his diploma in advanced computing and MBA. He has implemented campus-wide address. I hope you all can hear me now.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We are glad to have you on board, madam. Then we have Professor Neela Golupadi with us. Professor, the Director of MBA at Kasturba Gandhi Degree College for Women. She has around 27 years of experience in teaching and training. She has attended and presented papers in several national and international seminars and conferences. She is a guest faculty in prestigious institutions. She recently conceptualized and organized a national seminar on financial literacy and which is sponsored by NABARD and ICSSR. Thank you, Neela, for being part of this conference. I sincerely thank our chief guest, Professor T. Krishna Kumar Garu, for accepting our invite, and all other judges who are part of today's conference. We are indeed privileged to have you all with us. I wish every participant the best of luck and hope you take away something substantial from today's conference. I welcome the faculty of Department of Commerce, Kasturba, for being with us today. Last but not the least, I congratulate the convener, Ms. Sushma Sadanand, and the executive members, D. Kavita, Varalakshmi, Mamta, Sajida, Shravani, Sashireka, and P. Monica for facilitating this conference. I wish all of us have a wonderful day. Thank you. Over to Sajida.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are charmed by your sharp fluency. I now invite Dr. T. Krishna Kumar, sir, to share his valuable thoughts with the participants.
Good morning. It gives me immense pleasure.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
It gives
sir.
me immense pleasure to be with you this morning. At the outset, let me appreciate the organizers of this seminar entitled COVID-19, a boon or a bane. Thank you, Rajshri ma'am, Vice Principal, Kasturba College.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Dr. Sushma Sadanand ma'am, convener of this program, and her team, executive members. I also thank the principal of Kasturba Gandhi College. The topic, COVID-19, a boon or bane, is a contemporary one. I think all of us know it. What is a boon? What is a bane? It's a matter of perception. Ask the one who lost his job due to lockdown and due to lack of demand for the product, whether it is a boon or a bane. You know the type of answer you get. You also ask the one who is selling these video conference platforms the same question. You know the type of answer you are going to get. For that matter, ask the corporate hospitals the same question during lockdown, and you ask them now whether the boon or bane, the type of answer that you are going to get is something different. Remember, whatever it may be, the question is very much pertinent. It has been all over the media for months now that nature has hit the reset button. Nature is healing.
Mute voice వస్తలేదు వీణా నిజమే
Ma'am, is it audible?
వస్తుంది ఓ మెంటల్ వస్తుంది ఏమన్నా
Yeah, yes, sir, it is audible, sir.
Okay. Nature is healing. And it may seem to all that COVID-19 has led to a resurgence of nature. But is the picture really so rosy? There's a question mark. In the lockdown, pollution level and carbon emissions, people say they have decreased. But will these changes be actually a boon for the environment? While the death toll has mounted from a single case in Wuhan to a global pandemic, humans have been forced indoors and even as nature seems to reboot. But the grim reality is these changes are temporary. That is not the way we wouldn't have wanted things to happen. This is just a disaster, pointing out the underlying changes we face. It is not something to celebrate. Or do we say it is just Bane? Let us spend a few minutes on this aspect, whether it is a boon or bane. Let me focus first thing on why people they call it a bane. The impact, especially the economic impact of COVID-19 is very disturbing. No one has been spared of its effects. Economies of about 100, more than 100 plus countries have been destroyed, out of which some of them have asked for monetary help from IMF. Businesses across the world, namely hospitals and hospitality, aviation, entertainment, you name any industry, even sports events such as IPL and Olympics have been postponed. Schools and colleges have been closed. The virus has also disrupted the functioning of various online giants such as Amazon. Countries such as USA, Italy, and Spain are suffering the most since their death toll is very high. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development revealed that they have cut their expectation for global growth to 2.4 from 2.9 and warned that it could fall as low as 1.5. Now, how it is impacting India? The economic impact of the 2020 coronavirus pandemic in India has been largely destructive. India's growth in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year 2020 went down to 3.1, according to Ministry of Statistics. The chief advisor to the government of India said that this drop is mainly due to the coronavirus pandemic effect on Indian economy. India also faces a huge decline in government revenues and growth of income for at least 2 quarters as the coronavirus hits economic activity of the country as a whole. A fall in the investor sentiment impacts privatization plans, government, and industry. A setback on the economy. The lockdown came at a time when the economy was already struggling. Trade across sectors was estimated to be impacted. This directly affected the procurement of essential items, including testing equipment. Besides, the import and export business, yet another major revenue generator that received a blow was the tourism industry. India's predominantly unorganized retail market was yet another casualty, with the lockdown increasing the pressure on the online retail segment to rise to the occasion. A damaging impact on an economy as large as India's caused due to a total lockdown was imminent. Unemployment went up to 24% on May 17. It has a trickle-down effect. Between February and April 2020, the share of households that experienced a fall in income shot up to nearly 46%. If we look into MSME sector, according to the study commissioned by All India Manufacturers Organization, India is currently home to over 75 million MSMEs, and close to 25% of these firms will face closure. It is estimated that nearly 50% of micro, small, and medium enterprises have witnessed a 20 to 50% impact on their earnings, due to disruption caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Now, what is the impact on social life? The first case of COVID-19 in India was reported on 30th January 2020, and as of June 7th, 2020, confirmed cases more than 2.5 lakhs and 1,500 deaths, and now it has gone up. We need to understand that women are at greater risk from the health perspective. Homes which are already unsafe, along with families living in poor and substandard conditions, have added on the social inequalities like gender-based violence, child abuse, lack of security, money, and health. Focus has mostly been on testing, treatment, and prevention of COVID-19, but people and communities are going through various social problems as well in adjusting to the current lifestyle and fear of the disease across nations. By lockdown, one cannot forget the plight of migrant workers. It is one of the most cruel and highlighted issues in this pandemic, where millions were rendered unemployed and stranded without money, food, and shelter, crisscrossing the country's highways to return to their villages. Several meetings with the accidents and deaths on their way. The question is there any hope? What are the opportunities? Yes, you can find a few opportunities even in this pandemic. The first area is food. Can you supply fresh groceries, cold storage, cooking appliances, etc.? There is an opportunity. Entertainment. People, they are locked down. Even in some places, there's gaming industry, new ways of documenting content and promoting small businesses, online cooking classes, and virtual classes and online classes that are going on in the field of education, sports, and well-being, virtual classrooms, online fitness classes, service industry, contactless systems, enhanced delivery services, remote banking services, healthcare and health technology, pharmaceuticals, supplements, medical devices, personal protective equipment, telemedicine, small hospitals, online consultants, digital medical assistants, apps, self-diagnosing medical devices. Now we have electrical appliances with growing demand, dishwashers and washing machines, sterilization machines, sweeping robots. Office cost reduction opportunities. Office rent has become expensive and flexible arrangements are yet to be explored in their full functional scope. According to KPMG report, how do we cope with this pandemic situation? The ways in which the business landscape will shift, not only in India, but the world around, is given below. One need to shift to localization. I think everywhere people, they're talking about it. The second thing is digitalization. That is the second thing where it is gaining a lot of prominence. And third thing is cash is the king. You can't leverage too much. You need to remodel your businesses to variable cost models. Then you need to have a supply chain resilience. That is the key. Your business needs to be agile. Then home is the new workplace. Equivalent open doors for women. Gig will pull out all the hurdles. That is what they have been telling. Now, I have a basic question. I think through these things, we will try to overcome the problems. Now, for some time, I have been teaching a subject that is known as people management skills and human resource management. The basic question that comes to my mind, whenever people they talk about this pandemic, is it going to be a permanent feature? But my heart says, no, it's not going to be a permanent feature. It will be there. Even these two will pass away. Things are changing. After a few months, all of us will be going back to our workplaces. But when? There's a big question mark. There are people that are skeptical about it. In near future, maybe it takes a few months. People say we are not going back to our offices the way we were going. And when you go to workplace, what happens? The first thing that happens is there is a lot of anxiety. A workplace fraught with emotion. The second thing all of us will be experiencing is the perils of presenteeism. This is a concept that is gaining a lot of significance, presenteeism. All of us know about absenteeism. In many places, this concept is gaining its impact. Actually, this we have been experiencing, but nowadays people they talk a lot in the research work. A lot of work is done in the area of absenteeism where its impact on the productivity was measured. But in the case of presenteeism, much work is not done. I'm not saying no work is done, much work is not done. People, they go to offices because there is no other go, they have to go, but their contribution will not be that much. There are several situations where we'll be doing that. Then, can we have the open office concept through which we can overcome the problems that are related to this coronavirus or what we call a pandemic situation? But my heart says the day is not too far. Maybe people may say it takes a month, even months. I'll put it like this: God will willing, things will be normal. We'll be blessed with normal life. I wish the organizers all the very best, and after a few months, they'll be conducting a program how to revive the economy that is ravaged because of this coronavirus or COVID-19. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I think this seminar will deliberate upon some of the issues that I was talking about. And several times I might be wrong in my thinking, and everything is subject to correction. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your deep knowledge with us. We rarely get this kind of opportunity to listen to words of great knowledgeable speaker like you. Thank you once again. Moving on forward, we are entering the presentation session for today. I call upon our participant number 1, Ms. S. Akriti Srivastava and Dr. Manish Sharma from Abdul Kalam Technical University to present their paper.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can start your screen sharing.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
A very good morning to the panel members. Myself, Ms. Akriti Srivastava, is here to present the paper titled Psychological and Social Problems of Educational Sector Stakeholders Due to Lockdown as a co-author. This work is an attempt by the authors to have a deeper investigation on the psychological and social problems of educational sector stakeholders, and this is also the main objective of this paper, to work on the 5 factors, that is, positive relations, personal growth, self-acceptance, purpose in life, and environmental mastery. And the methodology that has been used is survey method. To test the study, statistically, we have used chi-square method, whose formula is given on your screen. Also, the statements have been grouped into 5 factors that have been mentioned earlier. Now, if we come to the findings of the paper, not taking much time, I will just go through the findings. When these respondents were asked about the positive relations, like whether this lockdown has impacted their positive relations or not, around 37.3% of students or respondents said yes, this lockdown has greatly impacted their positive relations. They are not able to maintain their positive relations well in this lockdown. While 9.35% of respondents said that this lockdown has no impact on their personal relations or positive relations. That is, the way they were able to manage it before, they are doing it currently in the situation as well. Now, when we talk about the second factor, that is personal growth. When the respondents were asked whether this lockdown has impacted their personal growth or not, around 39.4% of respondents agreed to the fact that this lockdown has greatly affected their personal growth. They are not able to see themselves growing in this lockdown period, while 9.6% of respondents said that this lockdown has no impact on their personal growth. They are continuing their growth, they are continuing working on themselves as much as they were used to do before. Now, when we talk about the third factor of the psychological well-being that we have been talking about, that is self-acceptance, as we can see through the bar chart, 19.8% of respondents agreed that this lockdown has not impacted their lifestyle, while 21.7% of respondents said that a little impact, and 17.68% of respondents said that they have there is no impact on their self-acceptance due to this lockdown. Now, what does this self-acceptance means to the respondents is whether they are able to accept themselves with all the qualities embedded in themselves or not, whether the qualities be positive or negative. Further, environmental mastery, 19% agreed, whereas 13% said no. And if we talk about purpose in life, then 37.3% of respondents said that yes, this lockdown has impacted their purpose in life, while 10.27% said no. And then when they were asked about what activities should they get involved in order to cope up, 66.7% of respondents said physical activities, while 8.3% said religious activities, and 25% of respondents said social activities. To conclude and recommend, I will say that regardless of whatever situation is happening around us, this lockdown has greatly affected the psychological well-being among the 5 factors that we have mentioned: positive relations, personal growth, environmental mastery, and purpose in life. But if we talk about the self-acceptance, that is the 5th factor, this lockdown has a very little, or we can say no, impact on this 5th factor of self-acceptance. And to recommend, as we have seen in the previous slide, I would suggest everyone to get involved in physical activities, social activities, as well as religious activities. And I think there are a lot of things we can tell about this, but since we have a limitation of time, I will conclude this presentation over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Akriti. Now we move on to jury members. Ma'am, any question?
Akriti, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just have one question for you regarding environmental mastery.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you just explain what you meant by environmental mastery?
Okay, the factor environmental mastery means that whether the respondents are able to do their work, daily routine work, the way they were able to do it before. That is, are they able to manage their daily routine work in order they were able to do it before or in this lockdown? There is a comparison between their working routine in the situation when lockdown was not here and in this situation when we are in this lockdown.
What are your findings from that?
Okay, so environmental mastery revealed that 21.1% of respondents said that yes, they are not able to manage their daily routine course of work as the way they were able to do it before, while 14.4% of respondents said that there is no impact on their daily routine of work. They are currently in the situation they can do their work in a better way as they were able to do it before.
Then 21% and 14%. What about the rest?
The rest can be seen in the, if I tell you about the rest, environmental mastery, just wait a minute, ma'am. Okay, so if I talk about the rest, then 28% of respondents said that this lockdown has, sorry?
Continue, Akriti.
Okay, then 28% of respondents said that no, this lockdown has a very little impact on their environmental mastery situation, while 20% of respondents said that this lockdown has, they don't see this lockdown impacting their environmental mastery situation anyhow, regarding the 7-pointer scale. They strongly agree, then they little agree, and at 28%, they don't agree at all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Akriti, this is Guha. I have a question for you. So can you just explain how did you pick up the overall population? What was the population size? How did you ensure that statistically it is distributed, across? And did you make a choice in terms of geographies, economic strata, before doing this survey?
Sample.
So sorry, I can't hear you. Can you please repeat it?
Yeah,
Sample.
Akriti, I will repeat once again. What was the population size? That is my first question. Yeah. And my second question was, how did you pick up the samples? Did you see that it is distributed across the cities or distributed across economic strata? What was the basis? So there are two questions for you. Yeah.
So for your first question, sir, that is the population size. There were 360 respondents for this survey. And how did I collected this, and how across the globe, or the situations of where did I get it? This survey's questionnaire was distributed or circulated through the social media WhatsApp. And not only Indian respondents have responded to it, not only a population of Varanasi city or UP city. If you go through the respondent, they have been across the globe. Some have been from UAE, some have been from Dubai, some from USA. So the respondents are across the globe. I will not say that, yeah, they are equally distributed along from everywhere, but yes, we have tried to collect the information from people as much as we can get, and from as much as variations of places we can get it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Akriti, I'm Colonel Vishwanath here. You have
Hello.
selected 5 aspects of your study, which are homed on to,
Yes, sir.
acceptance and positive relations, personal growth, environmental mastery, and purpose in life. Do you feel there are other aspects apart from these which require merit or importance to the course of your study, or is this okay?
Okay. So, actually, total 5 factors have been taken from a test that you might have all have heard. That is the Rife Psychological Wellbeing Test. So we have taken as a reference from this test that how will we circulate the questionnaires, how will we prepare the questionnaires, and in that test there were 6 factors of psychological well-being. The 6th one was autonomy, that has been not mentioned in this test. But when we were framing the questions, we realized that the questions that has been framed were only 5 factors, and we are studying here only about the 5 factors of psychological well-being and not the 6th factor, that is the autonomy. Yes, we can study about the 6th factor of the autonomy, but for this study we try to pick up only the 5 factors.
Thank you, Akriti.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions, jury members?
No, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, jury members. Next, I invite our participant number 2, Dr. Tirumala Rao from Indian Institute of Management and Commerce. So kindly be ready with your presentation. Dr. Tirumala Rao, sir, are you there? Sir, are you there?
Yeah, I am there, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
The PPT is visible, madam?
No, sir, you start sharing your screen.
Yeah, one moment.
It's visible, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's audible. Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, once again, I'm just starting with the PPT. This is, as we all know that COVID-19 created a pandemic all over the world, and government has announced lockdown on 21st March 2020. Government offices, education institutions, private offices, shops, establishments completely closed. And basically, our human nature is that to take any untoward situation in a panic way. COVID-19 is also taken in the same sense, thinking that it's a threat to human race. And this paper attempts to study the gleaming side of COVID-19. If we analyze, it has thrown some positive impact on us. The review of literature is not taken as the situation is relevant to the current scenario, and the objective of the study is to study the effect of lockdown on social life and to analyze the gleaming side of COVID-19 on human race, nature, and environment. My research methodology consists of data collection through primary data. Sample size is 147 respondents in and around of Hyderabad, Twin Cities, and sampling method is convenience method. And my hypothesis is there is no significant difference in the views of people regarding the pandemic, taking it as a threat to human life, and lockdown is a big constraint to the social life. And alternative hypothesis says that there is a significant difference in the views of people regarding the pandemic, taking it as a threat to human life, and lockdown is a big constraint to social life. The effect of lockdown on social life is this lockdown is a new phenomena to the human race of 21st century, and people started referring to the previous pandemics and are under the fear of further movement of social life. People started staying at home thinking that lockdown will end up by 1st April 2020, which was extended till 19th April 2020 and again till 12th May 2020. The typical human thinking always takes us to the negative side of an issue, not permitting us to take the positive side of it. And the findings are based on the questionnaire given to the respondents, and only the findings I have quoted in this PPT, not with all percentage tables and all already I have given in my full paper. It is opined that it's a threat. Lockdown is going to affect the social life. Lockdown system has brought in togetherness and belongingness among the most of the families. Lockdown has given ample time to concentrate on our people health, on our surrounding issues of our family. Total stoppage of outside food, junk food in particular. Many of our notions were proved wrong, such as going out is inevitable, working is possible only in the office, and so on. Academicians got a very good time to upgrade their knowledge by attending webinars, pursuing research. We are back to ancestral practices with regard to keeping house cleaning, applying old methods in cooking, preparing household remedies for cough, cold, and other things. Overall and above, COVID-19 is a boon as it is taking us to create a new era which is free from pollution using natural products, health, hygiene. And before going to the conclusion, a SWOT analysis of COVID-19 has been made where the strength is to begin a new era, taking it as a lesson and trying to build a new world free from artificial life and going closer to the nature. And weakness is many of us are of a fear that it spreads virus on war foot and ends the human race in short term in future. Opportunity is taking it as a challenge. We should form new reforms to protect our environment, encouraging small business with little investments and supporting the usage of commodities made of raw material provided by the nature so that it becomes easy to dissolve with nature in return. And the threat is most of us are under the impression that spread of virus will not permit us to carry out any day-to-day duties and are obstacle to the social life. We have the fear of conducting business, conducting examinations, opening the schools and colleges, running the operations in the offices, and so on. And the conclusion is SWOT analysis has been made, usage of natural homemade products, encouraging small and micro businesses, pollution-free atmosphere is observed in many places in India, offering cash or kind to the needy, poor people is practiced by many people among us, concentrating on family members. For small ailments like cold, cough, aches, homemade medicines are consumed. Junk food is totally stopped, which is paving a way for good health. Petrol consumption is reduced. Overall and above, this pandemic has given us an opportunity to set a new era free from unhealthy habits, pollution, gathering in mass, leading artificial life, using plastic, heavy investments, and so on. From the above study, it is viewed that the null hypothesis is rejected as there is a change in the views of people towards the pandemic as they are slowly learning to overcome the situation and fighting against the spread of virus, tuning their lives to the establishment new era, which takes them closer to the nature, free from pollution and past artificial life which they led in the past. Protect and respect the nature. It will in turn protect you as a mother, protect its child. Thank you very much. Thank you, madam.
Hello.
Hello.
Can
Thank
hear
you,
me?
madam.
Yeah. Um, Dr. Tirumala, your paper, The Gleaming Side, was very, very positive, and it really, brought out the best part of what we
Thank
are
you.
all doing. So that's thank you for reminding all the good things that are happening around also.
Yeah, thank you,
Um,
madam.
the question to you is uh, what, in your opinion, was a challenge for you to look at the positive side, while you did your research? What was a thing which you felt was one of the biggest challenges and that cannot be gleaming for you? I mean, the COVID impact.
Madam, the COVID impact actually it started with the fear, but as the days are passing on, as we were slowly looking after what our ancestral people have done to overcome these situations, so slowly we started realizing that there is a positive thing in this. See, any kind of problem, we should take out the positive aspect of it and overcome the situation and move on. So that made me to work on this paper.
Okay. Who was your primary data sample?
Madam, my academicians and some students and also my in and around known community of Hyderabad where they include certain MNCs and other people. Randomly I have selected, madam.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Tirumala, I have a question regarding your sample. Don't you think your sample is skewed to prove your hypothesis? Because there are a lot of people who lost their jobs. So if you ask them about the gleaming side of COVID, I'm sure they will definitely not appreciate
Yeah, madam.
aspects. So your conclusions,
I agree.
Are they valid?
Madam, actually, I started this paper taking into consideration the positive aspects only. So my focus was on to take the positive things from this. So I didn't take into consideration any negative aspects of it. Though the negative aspects are there, my focus was on this.
No, but that's what makes the research skewed, because you get to see what you want to see and you conclude your hypothesis according to your requirements. So in that sense, the research article, I'm just talking from the research point of view, if you
Okay,
don't mind.
madam. Yeah.
So I think that will be skewed because you have to take a balanced view. You cannot
Yeah,
say
definitely.
that's my point.
No, actually, the views have started with negative aspects only, but slowly we are see actually, madam, during March, April, where we could not attend the offices at all, but slowly started people at least attending some days of their job, and at least those who didn't get any salary now slowly they are getting half of the salary at least. So there is a positive. And work from home has given at least some scope for them. So taking into these things, I thought there is a positive impact. Slowly the people are recognizing in that way also I have thought.
And one more aspect is regarding literature review. You mentioned that you haven't done any literature
Yeah,
review.
yeah,
Yeah, that is a little strange because for literature review, you can even use newspaper articles. There's nothing hard and fast rule that you might have to use only journal articles or textbooks.
yeah.
So I think to substantiate your arguments, I think literature review is always needed for a good research paper. That's what I
Definitely, madam.
understand.
Definitely.
So I
You
think
know,
you should try and incorporate that one also if you
yeah.
can.
Definitely, madam. But I had one opinion while taking into consideration the review of literature, because review of literature is based on the past experience of the topic what we choose, isn't it? So if you take during 1820, there was plague, and 1920 Spanish flu, but every 100 years this is happening. And the 100 years back, the situation
No,
scenario is
no.
different.
No, it's not about taking exactly pandemic situations. For literature
Yeah.
review, you can take
So I have
any crisis which has put the human race into a tough
yeah,
situation, how
definitely.
they have come out of it. It could
Yeah.
be a war situation, it could be famines, it could be anything.
Yes, madam.
So
Yes,
there will
madam.
always
Definitely.
be a fund of literature,
Yeah,
because
I
before
agree
we
with you.
hypothesize,
Yeah.
hypothesis is a considered opinion.
Yeah.
So I think you might have to incorporate review of literature into any good
Yeah.
research
Thank
work
you,
is
madam.
my
I'll do it. Yeah.
suggestion to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Dr. Trimala, this is Guha. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, see, going a little bit into future, just like demonetization,
Yeah.
it's actually changed the face of the economy in terms of a turbo boost into moving into digital platforms,
Yeah.
cashless transactions, etc.
Yeah.
And India today is one of the biggest users of those platforms
Yeah.
across the entire universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I want to take one big takeaway, yeah, definitely yes, it's encouraging to see so much of positives that are coming out of this crisis.
Yes.
What will be one biggest impact this crisis is going to have on Indian economy?
The biggest impact is employment, sir, and industries, and those who made investments very recently before March. Definitely, they will have some impact from this crisis.
And what kind of impact are you talking about? Say, for example, 6 to 8 months down the line, 1 year down the line, or even half a decade down the line. What do you think? What is the positive impact of this entire crisis on the economy?
Sir, the positive impact is mostly we can reform ourselves through changing our habits, through going with the nature provided products. Such industries we can develop, because if you take back with our 20 30 years back, whatever products we used, our ancestors or elders used, are solvable with the what do you call, with the nature. They are dissolved with the nature, and there was no problem of radiation, global warming. We didn't hear all these things. But today, with the usage of plastic or other things, the radiation with the electronic equipments and all, so such things slowly we can overcome. That is one positive impact what I have observed. We can come across and we can encourage such type of small industries, micro industries. We can encourage very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dr. Trimala. I'm Colonel Vishwanath here.
Good morning, sir.
It's amazing that you've taken such a topic where you're trying to find positives in the negatives clouded around us.
Yes.
So it could have been a challenging research subject for you.
Yeah.
My query is, sir, I just wanted to understand what are the kind of statistical tools which you have used to draw inferences based on the questionnaire which you had circulated.
Sir, I didn't use any statistical tools, only the, what do you call, the bar diagrams, pie diagrams I have used. And the statistical tools I have not used, only the inferences, the percentage of people who responded, taking into consideration those things, I have taken the findings and conclusion.
Because you are drawing a hypothesis, don't you feel that to draw the
hypothesis is purely from the views of the respondents. Majority what they have quoted me, out of 147, 60% have taken it as positive. Basing on those views of majority, I have framed the hypothesis.
right, sir? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions, ma'am? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, moving on forward, now I call upon participant number 3, Dedipya Tipava Guha from ICAI.
Good morning. Can you see me?
Yeah, ma'am, you can start your screen sharing.
Okay, yes. There's already somebody sharing the screen. Can you please close it so that
Tirumala Rao, sir, can you please exit?
Yeah. Is it okay, madam?
No, sir.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. Just.
Yeah.
Is it fine?
Yes.
Yeah, one second. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can even see your screen.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen and members of the panel, good morning. I'm Dedapya, and today I'd like to discuss about the effect of the pandemic on MSMEs and startups. So today is not the day we have to make a stark choice between saving a life and saving a livelihood, because the coronavirus pandemic has taught us that today is the day we have to learn to do both simultaneously at the same time. All anecdotal evidence, including the hundreds of thousands of migrant workers on the road, suggests that micro, small, and medium enterprises have been the worst hit casualty of the pandemic. I have already conducted direct interviews and surveys that I have included in my full research paper. Here, I would like to give a brief overview about MSMEs and startups. So first, what exactly is an MSME? A micro enterprise is an enterprise with an investment of less than 1 crore and a turnover of less than 5 crore. A small enterprise is an enterprise with an investment of less than 10 crore and a turnover of less than 50 crore. And a medium enterprise is an enterprise with an investment of less than 50 crore and a turnover of less than 250 crore. In India, there are currently 6.34 crores of MSMEs equally distributed between rural and urban India. But if you really look at the table, 99.5% of all MSMEs are categorized as micro and small enterprises. And only 0.5% of MSMEs are categorized as medium enterprises. Why is this important? This is important predominantly because these micro and small enterprises are predominantly run by only 1 or 2 individuals. And these are the individuals who look to not do compliances and who look to escape compliances. And this in turn affects the government's ability to fund them and finance them. But what exactly is the government doing to help them? Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on May 14th has announced something called the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan in her budget speech. Which is essentially a 20,000 crore relief package. And in this package provides for 20 relief measures, and almost 6 of these relief measures are aimed at MSMEs. And this is actually a good figure when we compare it to what the government has actually done for the startups, because Bharat Abhiyan has actually not provided any relief to the startups. So I'll first start off with what exactly are startups. A startup is a registered entity not more than 7 years old and has never crossed an annual turnover of 25 crore in any preceding financial year. And it is also a company working towards innovation and development of products and services. As I have previously stated before, the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan has not provided any relief to the startups. And this is one of the core reasons why these firms are facing a major cash crunch. In fact, a NASCOM survey actually stated that 70% of startups were actually running out of cash as on 24 June, which is a staggering figure when you actually look at it. So why is this happening? What are the problems that these startups are facing? So their funding pipeline has been squeezed, and venture capital firms are refused to help them, and there is also enhanced unemployment. And what are the solutions and ways to tackle the problems? So there is always collateral free debt that the government can provide, and you can always find a way for faster recovery of dues and ensure ease of compliance for them. So I'd like to conclude by saying that only when MSMEs, startups, and the government work together to find an upside potential to this pandemic can India truly become the nation that we aspire to be. Thank you.
Deepthya,
Yes.
I read your paper and it is like very well put, and you've been very succinct in your analysis of what has been the role of the startups and MSME post the COVID, and the stimulus package that has gone, that has the government has given, and what more can be done. I
Yes.
also like the fact that you concentrated on what the government can do and what the citizens should do
Yes.
as a corollary to what you were talking, and the references that you have made. My question to you is, in your suggestions for the upliftment of MSME sector post the COVID, you have given a couple of suggestions. Could you just elaborate on that?
Well, I think the survival guide to both MSMEs and startups is kind of alike. It's basically about cutting your costs, and it's about renegotiating the fixed costs that the firms are incurring. And it is also about, I think it's about cutting the price of products as well, because only when you can give a product that the consumer will be able to accept can you truly come out of this pandemic with an upside potential.
So, with your case study of that Ramaya, or what that person, that
Yes, yes,
Rama Rao Garu,
yes,
no,
yes,
some
yes.
you've
Rama
done a
Rao,
case
yes,
study on him, and
yes,
if you see that he's been having a lot of struggles in his inability to pay his dues, and
yes,
his exports being so exposed at the end of the day.
yes,
So, cutting down the prices, as per what you say. The customer would like it free, or everybody likes it free.
yes,
Negotiation
yes,
is that.
yes,
So
yes.
at this time, do you think such a recommendation of cutting the price is valid? And
Uh,
what did that guy tell you, the entrepreneur, the case study that you have told, when you suggested this to him?
Well, basically, the first and foremost thing that he mentioned was, even though the government has provided a lot of reliefs for the MSME sector, one thing that they did not do is they did not cut down on the interest on interest that the government is charging, because when they are providing them with the relief, well, the government said for the next 3 months you don't need to pay anything, but they are adding interest upon interest for these 3 months when you have to pay it after. And he felt like that the relief measures provided were, first of all, not enough. And my suggestion, just because of the fact that you need to, as a business, you need to cater to your customer, and customers won't be attracted if you charge them with a high price now. And I know cost leadership method is not really the way to go right now, but when you are not able to reach your customer at all right now, there is no way that you can survive the pandemic, and that is why I have actually suggested that. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, Didipia. Ma'am's any more question?
Yeah, Didipia, first of all,
Yes.
thanks for this presentation.
Yes.
And this look very interesting in terms of content itself. Looks like a typical investment banking presentation. Yeah, so good job on that front.
Thank you.
Couple of questions from my side.
Yes.
What do you think the banks can actually do more to give turbo boost to MSMEs?
Well, I actually felt like the collateral that they ask for when a loan is being issued, I felt like they could actually do away with that. I know the government has provided a short-term benefit and has actually told the banks that they can do away with the collateral right now. I think they can extend this, they can sort of extend the collateral free period, because 3 months is not going to do away with the pandemic effects will last longer. And I felt like the banks can take an initiative and provide more collateral free loans to the public.
Can you just explain a bit about how to provide collateral free loans? That actually theoretically, yes, it looks good.
Yes.
However, in terms of practical implementation, how do you think the bank should go about such a process?
Yes, actually, the thing is, because of the financial crisis right now, the property values have extremely deflated. So the collateral amount that the bank is asking for, the owner of the MSME is not able to show because the property value is reduced, and the bank is not really able to provide them with that. So maybe the bank can sort of alter the measures, and they can sort of put a different standard, the deflated property values for everyone. They can set a new standard and go accordingly, because not everybody property value has majorly declined because of this. And so they can probably do a new measure on that.
Okay, thank you.
Didipya, I just want you to check up on CGT MSME loan, which has started many, many years back. And
Yes.
also the
yes, in my presentation, I've actually mentioned that they have actually increased the cap for CGTMS, and the CGTMS was introduced a really long time ago. In the current budget, they've enhanced the cap for CGTMS.
Any more questions, jury members?
I think she made a good presentation. Dedipya, I think I really appreciated your presentation. It was very well delivered.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay, thank you, Dedipya. Next, I invite participant number 4, G. Archana from Aurora Degree and PG College to present the paper.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible. Kindly share your screen.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Hello.
Yes,
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes,
yeah.
you're audible.
Good morning,
Yes,
Archana.
yes.
You are audible.
Good
Yeah.
morning, Archana. Good morning.
I'm Archana, Senior Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce from Aurora Degree and PG College. Our present topic is Employment Challenges and Opportunities in India post-COVID-19. I would like to introduce first what is an employment. Employment is a relation between two parties, usually based on contract where work is paid, and where one party, which may be a corporation for profit or non-profit organizations, cooperative or other entity, is employer, and the employee. Employment is typically governed by the employment laws, organizations, or legal contracts. Next, self-employment. Self-employed individually does not work for a specific employer who pays them a consistent salary or wage. Self-employed individuals or independent contract earn income by contracting with a trade or business directly. In most cases, the employer will not withhold taxes, so that this becomes the responsibility of the self-employed individuals. So let us see. Those who are self-employed work solely for themselves and contract directly with the clients. Self-employed may not be subject to tax withholding, and those self-employed are responsible for paying their taxes. Self-employment can provide a great deal of job flexibility and autonomy. However, it also comes with a great degree of employment risk and more volatile income. Online portals. A portal is a door or an entryway. The term online refers that internet and the web pages that form part of the World Wide Web. An online portal or web portal is a website that provides an entry point for a range of information, tools, and links. Uses of online portal, we can say that add convenient self-service options, increase the transparency, reduce the amount of incoming calls you handle, keep up the competition. My objectives of this study: to create awareness among the public about online portals, to analyze to what extent people are using online portals. My scope of this study: the study is being carried out on to find out to what extent people are aware of various online platforms for making self-employed. Limitations of the study: a questionnaire being prepared and circulated among educated group. There was a time restriction for this study. Research methodology of the study. The study is based on primary as well as secondary data. Primary data is collected with the help of a structured questionnaire. A sample size is 100 respondents. Sample area is Telangana. Secondary data was collected from various websites. I have analyzed that 70.4% respondents are interested in going for self-employment. 21.1% respondents are not interested in going for self-employment. 8.5% respondents are neutral in going for self-employment. Most of the respondents are interested in going self-employment by using online portal. When I ask the respondents that online portal is the best option to get the self-employment in the pandemic situation, out of 100, 91.5% of the respondents strongly agreed that an online portal is the best option to get self-employment in this pandemic situation. 8.5% respondents are not agreed that the online portal is the best option to get self-employment in this pandemic situation. From the above, we can say that most of the respondents have strongly agreed that an online portal is the best option to get self-employment in this pandemic situation. And my conclusions for the study: the study which was taken into consideration has proved that both self-employed and online portals are being used by the people depending on their requirement and knowledge. It is also concluded that to maximum extent only the educated groups are using online portals. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Good presentation. I wanted to ask you, when you meant online portals, can you give me examples of online portals that promote self-employment? And you had said that people were not aware of those things in one of your findings. So I just want to know what kind of online portals are we talking about here?
Yeah, in my question, I have given freelancer.com,
okay,
guru.com and others. Most of the people responded that others like I have given only options, ma'am, freelancer and guru.com, YouTube and others. But most of the respondents have given others, other than freelancer, guru.com, YouTube.
Second, who was your sample and background of your sample?
Educated group, ma'am. Educated group is my samples. I have sent my questionnaire to all educated people.
By education, what do you mean? Graduates, postgraduates?
Yes, ma'am. Graduates, postgraduates, and undergraduates also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Archana, I'm Colonel Vishwanath here.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, sir.
Could you give some suggestions, ma'am? What are your suggestions having done your research on this?
Yeah, my studies at the pandemic, in this pandemic situation, I can tell that all the people, see, in the present situation, so many people are unemployed and they removed from their services also. I'll tell that self-employment is the best option by using the online portals to get the employment based on their own skills and area of interest.
Hello.
Hello. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, ma'am. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
yes,
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions, Judy? No. Okay. Thank you, Archana.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, before we move forward, a gentle reminder to all participants, kindly limit your presentation time to 3 minutes and conclude your paper once you hear the buzzer, a ringtone kind of a buzzer. Kindly conclude, because that's the buzzer that is rang 30 seconds before you conclude your paper. Okay, now moving forward, I call upon participant number 5, Mahesh Marmaraju from Vijaya Engineering College to present his paper.
Good morning, all. Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, you're audible.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
we can.
Okay. Good morning to all. I'm Mahesh Maramraju. I'm assistant professor at Vijaya Engineering College, Khammam. The topic which I choose is combating the against unknown virus psychosocial effect on life. Hello.
Continue, sir. Continue, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Continue, sir. Continue.
You are very clearly audible, Mahesh. Go ahead.
Mr. Mahesh, can you hear us?
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, Mahesh, sir. Can you hear us?
Okay. I call the virus. Okay. I call the virus unknown because it is not like the other coronavirus like SARS or MERS. We don't have information to understand where this virus came from and how it affects us. That is why I called it is unknown virus. Second one, this is a quote by a professor at University of California regarding the social effects to the pandemic due to the lack of time. I'm skipping this contents. Okay.
Sir, can you continue, please?
Okay.
You're running out of time.
Sorry. Oh my God. Okay. Ma'am, can you give me some time? Next, I will present next.
Okay. So, jury members, can we do that?
Okay, we can move on to the next presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, jury members. Up next, I request K. Sujata, participant number 6 from Aurora Degree College, to present her paper. Ma'am, are you ready, Sujata, ma'am?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay.
I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, you are
Hello?
audible.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
I'm Sujata from Aurora Degree College. A study on the role of work schedule in job satisfaction.
Ma'am, Sujata, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
There is a lot of disturbance, ma'am, from your side. Can you switch off TV or something that is running on the background?
No, ma'am, nothing is there. I
Yeah.
want it. I should know.
Ma'am, you
Is it
can
clear?
continue now. It's clear. It's clear. You can continue.
Ma'am, my topic is role of work schedule in job satisfaction of employees during COVID time. So here I would like to tell what is the problem. One second. Like according to the present situation, employees are not able to get satisfied due to like a lack of salaries what they are getting or how they are, what is the working timing. Okay, and with regard to like as on today when 3 months of time when they are getting like due to this March, April and May. So when they are reporting to the organization, they are not being paid or they have been removed or there are so many things which are having a lot of impact on employees. Okay, in the present times, and the next one is with regard to a service of an employee, where they are feeling complicated and they are unable to survive without the job, and they are facing a lot of things as on today in the present scenario. And that made me to study about the objectives, like what are my objectives are to study the role of work schedule in job satisfaction of employees and to study the factors affecting and problems faced by employees working in different shifts. So the shifts also where I want to, where I would like to tell is with regard to like various shifts are there when you look into MNCs or any other companies or various organizations, if we compare. So the timings basically if you observe 9 to 5 or from 10 to 8 or there are a number of hours like 10 hours, more than 8 hours the people are working. But even though they are working for more than 8 hours, actually according to our law, according to our motion studies or according to our Henry Fayol or what are the functions of management which are talking about, from the employee's point of view, it should be a number of hours are 8 hours. So more than that, the people are working, but they are not being satisfied with regard to payrolls or with regard to lack of resources, or they are asking them certain targets or tasks which are being given, and they are unable to like meet the task, and because of that, it is like reducing in their payments or when they are given some not given proper expected roles what they are expecting from the organization. Maybe the organization is profit oriented, or maybe the organization is like what at to the limited level what they are running. Okay, so these are the things like certain things which has made me to study about this topic, and my methodology is of about primary data and secondary data from other sources. Yes, ma'am. You want me to conclude?
Ma'am, conclude. Buzzer is running.
Okay. Limitations are I took the 4 types of work schedules, and my research with regard to like few employees working in Hyderabad. Sample size is 80, and purpose is to know their satisfaction level of satisfaction, and like whether they are happy with the working schedule or not. And my findings are employee loyalty, sense of ownership, level of commitment, efficiency and effectiveness. And work schedule are like employee loyalty towards working hours, sense of ownership towards job safety and security, level of commitment, relationship with co-workers, efficiency and effectiveness, top management and productivity. And my conclusion is not to basically instead of laying off the employee from the organization, they should provide some job security, even though in this pandemic situation when they are reporting after a particular time due to lack of transport or due to certain issues, those things has to be considered from the employee point of view. That is what I said. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity.
I request all the participants to kindly mute yourself.
Yes.
Continue, ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry for the disturbance.
Okay. So that's been a good paper on the impact on work schedule and employment. So my question to you is, in your sample, and rather I would like to ask you the relevance of the nature of work, whether it's blue collared, white collared work, and the impact of the change in work schedule post because of the COVID. Is it positive or negative?
Coding of the employees, ma'am, like blue color or green color. You're saying like that? Ma'am, I didn't get you. Can you please repeat
Blue
the
collar
question?
workers or white collar?
Achha, blue color workers and white collar workers. So that kind of comparison is to one level it is beneficial for the employee to know exactly what is his level of working and what is his level of promoting towards the company. So that is also important. But according to my listing is comparison point of view, it is like it is giving a lot of impact on employee effectiveness. So organization, they should understand the effective performance of the employee when they are working in the organization and what is their level of work which has been done by them and what is their objective and whether they are working on the objectives of the organization, whether they are able to meet the organization objectives or not. All those also has to be taken into consideration. Accordingly, employee loyalty also should be positive towards the employees.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sujata, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
You're talking about work schedule and during COVID.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you studied anything regarding stress from working home?
Yes, ma'am. I have studied about that.
Yeah, and what are your
My
results saying?
observation. Yes, ma'am. When you come from the concept of work from home, so now during the lockdown, employees were asked to log in and log out, like what are the timings and all, which has been given to the employees. Maybe it is from the work from home also. They need to time limit has been specified even to the employees. Ma'am, should I stop? Buzzer sound. So this during this lockdown also work from home is also having an impact, kind of impact due to the resources which are not available. Because maybe from for example in an organization 30 employees or 40 employees are working. We cannot expect each and every employee is available with all the electronic gadgets to work from home. This is also one of the point drawback what I have observed from the employee point of view. And even though if they are having like electronic gadgets, they will not be in a position to work due to net or any kind of an insufficiencies from their point of view. So that also has to be taken into the noted point of view. But when you come to this point, as this is one of the point drawback what I observed, and when you come to the MNCs or other sectors, they are providing the systems and they are making them to do the work. That is also there. But in other organizations, they are making them to work from the home, but still the resources, due to lack of resources, they are unable to meet the criteria of the management. That is also one of the, that is the main drawback what I observed now.
Thank you, Sujata.
Okay. Hello. Yes.
Any more questions?
Ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Yes, who's this?
Sujata, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, jury members. Thank you, Sujata.
Okay, thanks.
Up next, I call upon participant number 7, Mahesh Kumar from Janvi Vasundhara Degree and PG College. And I again request all participants to kindly mute yourself.
Congratulations.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, can I start my screen sharing?
Yes, sir, you can.
Ma'am, just tell me. Oh, okay.
Yes, sir, we can see.
A very good morning to one and all. A sincere thanks to Kasturba Gandhi Degree and PG College for giving a nice opportunity. I, G. Mukesh Kumar from Janavi Vasundhara Degree and PG College, doing my undergraduate in BSc Computer Science. Now, my topic is about COVID-19 impact on human life. So, what is COVID-19? COVID-19 stands for Corona, VI stands for virus, D stands for disease, and 19 for 2019. COVID-19, it is a type of RNA virus found in mammals and bats. Most probably, this coronavirus found in bats. The first coronavirus was discovered in 1930 year when domestic chickens were infected by infectious bronchitis virus, IBV. A place called Wuhan in China, where coronavirus has started in the month of December 2019, And on 31st December 2019,
Mukesh, sorry for interrupting you. I'm Colonel Vishwanath here. May I request you to directly come to the objectives of your study, and we'll go ahead with the findings and conclusion, please, because we are running out of time.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much.
So the structure of my coronavirus. Structure of coronavirus is a large, roughly spherical particles with bulbous surface projections. Its diameter is 125 nanometer, and its components are spike, glycoprotein, RNA and protein envelope, hemagglutinin, and esterase dimer. And its symptoms, where we can find that symptoms are fever, dry cough, and tiredness. 5% when the coronavirus enters into a body, when it is in 5%, travels from lungs to blood cells. It may affect the blood tissues and blood cells, and it travel through our veins. When it increases to 14%, it impacts on breathing problems. When it increases to total 80%, it becomes mild and patient feels suffocating. COVID may last survive in human body up to 3 weeks. It is a crucial period for a human body. Coronavirus impact on human life. Now, as we are seeing after the pandemic situation of COVID-19, humans have been feeling suffocated at homes, and they are not, everyone is following the lockdown situation, performing this government has been, actually the government is, sorry. So the government has initiated some set of rules and guidelines for public so that no one should violate that rules. They have stopped the national highways and they are stopping everyone. And each and every individual is now suffering from moving from one place to another because there is no set of place for them to survive. This coronavirus impacted on global tourism, travel, hospitality, economic activity, and SME activity because man cannot survive without working. But this coronavirus impacted on the workplace of the individual. COVID-19 impact on education and technology. Now, after the spread of this coronavirus, all educational and technology sectors are being shut down temporarily. Till how many time, till how much it will be extended, I don't know about it. But
sir?
Oh, yeah.
So your time is up. I request you to conclude your paper.
Okay, ma'am. As you can see, we can stop this coronavirus by keeping ourselves clean and surroundings clean and maintaining a social distance by like this. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, that's all.
Over to jury members.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Any question from any jury member side?
No questions from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, moving on, I now call upon P. Kalyani from St. Mary's Centenary Degree College to present her paper.
Good morning, everyone. Is the screen visible?
Good morning, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you're audible and your screen is visible.
Thank you very much. My paper is on Sustainable Development Goals in view of COVID-19. As per the statement of Inger Anderson, Executive Director of UNEP, COVID-19 has a lasting and profound social and economic consequences in every corner of the nation. Sustainable development and sustainable recovery of the future proofing is possible only when there is a sound environmental responses, policies and plans which are deserved. Now, my objectives of the study is to understand the importance of sustainable development goals, to understand the opportunities and threats posed by COVID-19, to understand the impact of COVID-19 and sustainable development goals, and to offer suitable suggestions. So, the sustainable development goals are the collection of 17 international goals which are subjected to a blueprint in order to achieve a sustainable and better future for everyone. They were set in 2015. My paper is secondary-based data paper, and it's a conceptual set. And the sustainable development goals and the strategic opportunities for the Indian sustainable development, we have various questions which are rising now. How to prioritize the long-term objectives in the light of present crisis? Should the country have to be more concerned about the threat of climatic change instead? How to ensure the efficiency of usage of resources and so on. So what is the impact of this COVID-19 on the sustainable development goals? Already 5 years goal. Some experts believe that this pandemic pause is a blessing in a disguised situation. It provides an opportunity to all the stakeholders to undertake a review of where the nation stands and what type of changes that are required. As per an estimate, more than 5 billion population may lack access to essential health services by 2030. So these services that are required, like running water, access to essential medicines, and ability to see a health worker. As per Prime Minister SPJ directive, there is a need to evaluate on three important metrics as per the present when the present pandemic ends. That is, one is the impact on the poor people, and second one is what is the status of sustainable development goals now. Now, in addition to the job losses, deteriorating health conditions, hungry modes, and the collateral damages, which are emerging as the linkages between sustainable development goals, especially sustainable development goal 1, that is poverty, which is going to bring down the quality of education, that is SDG 4, water and sanitation, which is SDG 6, and the reducing inequality, that is SDG 10. So estimates are now 3.8% and 2.3%. So the recovery, we can say, is non-linear and complex process. So here, it is provided an opportunity by lockdown to plan for the sustainable development goals for the Indian manufacturing sector, government to address various problems, R&D organizations focus on 4 areas: stakeholders' contribution, sustainable building, focus on green energy, water scarcity, and healthier cities. So my suggestion is to have an essentiality for resilience, to have sustainable stimulus and magnitude. And my conclusion is we can able to focus on that is on energy, equity, and environment. I thank everyone for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to jury members.
No questions?
No questions from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, jury members. Thank you, Kalyani ma'am. Up next is C. Charita, participant number 9 from Kastuba Gandhi Degree and PG College for Women.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Yes, ma'am.
Kavita ma'am. Kavita ma'am will be sharing.
Okay.
So, a very good morning to one and all present here. I am Charita from Kasturba Gandhi Degree College. Next slide, ma'am. So I am going to tell about the combating with coronavirus biologically, physically, and socially. It is very important to put our health conditions, mental health in a very proper way. Ma'am, next slide. Hello. Yeah, these are biological, physical, and social. Ma'am, next slide. So, biological factors include physical health, disability, genetic vulnerabilities, and the social factors, drug effects, peer pressure, family circumstances, and school. Psychological problem, family relationship, trauma, coping skills, social skills, and etc. These are the given PSC, EB, SMC. These are some of the techniques where the clinical where the therapists see the pain of the health condition of a person. Next slide, ma'am. Hello. Hello. Next slide, ma'am. So why it is impacted everyone because some may lose their jobs and some are feel alone and poor financial conditions, or if someone is in already in a psychological problem and it tends them to do some committing suicide. Next slide, ma'am. So we have some I think 343 members have died because of suicide since March. The risk of suicide has been increased by 20% because of the mental health. Either it is because of financial or being alone or poor or some many other conditions. We have some of the methods to overcome them. I think minimizing screen, maybe the the TV, which shows daily about the coronavirus and which make the people to do they think like we may die or like that. And the second thing, we should have a healthy routine and diet which helps us our mental health calm. And the meditation is an absolute control over the emotions. It helps us to have a good condition of our mind. Reach out to the therapist. This is an absolute solution, because people may think if we go to the doctor, it is no, they will help us to reach our things. Yeah, and learning new things may help us to cope up with our mental health. Thank you.
Besides,
Thank you.
thank you, Charita. Any questions, judges?
Charita, one question to you will be that in terms of value of family and friends, yeah,
Okay.
a lot of big cities like Hyderabad or Bangalore or Pune, Mumbai, a lot of youngsters are working in large-scale startups like Tata Consulting Services, Cognizant, investment banks, etc. So almost all of them are living alone. Yeah, even
Yes,
now they
yes,
were unable to go back to their houses because of this lockdown.
yes,
What
yes,
is
yes,
your
absolutely.
suggestion for such people? How should they cope up during these times?
I think that's a very bad condition they are in, and they can connect it with their friends, and like work on their if they feel alone, and they can do something new or an artwork. They feel like reaching out to friends, or if any more severe condition, they can call to an helpline number. As we know, recently some of the cities have spread a noted helpline number which helps them a lot. Yeah, sir.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Charita. I'm Colonel Vishwanath here.
Hi, sir.
Video on KJ, video on.
I just wanted to ask you, how have you arrived at your 8 methods? Because today everybody wants to find their mental condition. So you've come about with a few suggestions of the 8 methods. How have you gone about your suggestions?
So, sir, we are in a situation where we don't know, we are sitting around a four wall of a room. So, people may think that we can't do anything, but we can do many things sitting at the home and make our health happier. Even it was difficult to me when I was at the starting of this lockdown, but I started habituating to new things around me. So that made me to do this or write down those points.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, Charita. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
You've made some couple of good suggestions, which are wonderful given the situation in which we are. But how do you motivate somebody to do that? When I'm sitting alone and let's say I can't, you are suggesting that I should do some meditation or I should get in touch with friends.
Meditation is not that mean
No,
like
the kind of suggestions that you have given, how do you
yes.
implement them?
So, ma'am, actually, meditation is quite very difficult to do. But if we start not only doing some exercise in that, or um, like mm, we can motivate, like telling them do this, or online with the friends. Hello, online with the friends can help them to cope up with the situation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Maunika, I request you not to ring the bell when jury is questioning the participants. Thank you, Maunika. Yes, ma'am. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you, Charita.
Okay, thank you.
Before we move on, I request all the participants to kindly be precise on your objectives, methodology, and suggestions and conclusions so that you can wind up your paper in the given time. Okay, next I call upon participant number 10, D. Radhika from Aurora's Degree and PG College to present her paper.
Good morning, everyone. I am here, Radhika, from Aurora's
Good
Degree and
morning,
PG
ma'am.
College. My paper is including the educational institutions. So, India too, as a part of nationwide lockdown, has closed all the educational institutions. Taking into account, the government decided to go for no need of this physical boundaries and flexibility, and able to serve a large number of learners with the help of online education, and recording repetition facilities will be there in online education. Best teachers will be provided, and traffic problems can be solved, and no need of spacious buildings and parking for the educational institutions, and teachers are also safe because no need to maintain the like students and monitoring them. So these are the advantages we have, and these are the challenges faced in online education. Absence of emotions, because faculties cannot able to know what are the emotions of the students, and there are some students who are from the rural backgrounds, and some students are from the urban backgrounds. Only urban students are can able to get this online facility. So these are the inequalities among the students due to online education, and there is lack of infrastructure facilities, and conducting of practicals is also one of the problem, and monitoring the students in online is also one of the problem, and interaction social skills. Most of the schools or the colleges are not only for education purpose. Apart from that, we are going to have some extracurricular activities. That possibility will not be there mostly in online education, and some of the students are facing non-availability of laptops and internet problems. And also for the faculties, it is a challenging task to teach through a new mode of teaching methods, and conducting exams is also one of the biggest tasks. And next year, what are the opportunities available for make the teaching, online teaching better? So these are the blending learning techniques we can adopt, and free education facility can be provided. There are some sites which are providing free education facilities, and also ICT tools, advanced learning techniques we can use for providing online education. And through online, we can counsel the students by motivating them, encouraging them. And at a time, some students can do multiple degrees by using online education, and all age group learners can be part of online education. So here my suggestion is to improve the technical infrastructure facilities in the schools and the colleges, and the faculty should also improve their abilities to teach through online education. My conclusion is online learning is inevitable now in the present pandemic situation, and the only solution to bridge the gap between the faculties and the teachers, faculties and the students, is online mode of education only. So for that, it is necessary to improve the skills and the technology to provide educational facilities to all the students. And technology will never replace the great teachers, of course, but technology in the hands of great teachers is transformation. Thank you.
Radhika, that was really concise, and
thank you, ma'am.
Objective of what you've taken in terms of online education and the COVID impact on education, leading to online education being the next big thing. My question to you is on the infrastructure that you talked.
Yes, ma'am.
How ready are we post-COVID for this as teachers?
Infrastructure facilities means like taking online classes, internet facilities with good bandwidth are necessary, and also organization should have the recording facilities so that at any time if the students want the repetition of the classes, they can have that facility to provide them. And students should also have that facilities, ma'am.
I'm talking about teachers.
Teachers should have this laptop and electronic gadgets with good internet and bandwidth. And they have to use this.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You think by providing the infrastructure like a laptop, internet bandwidth, the quality of teaching would it improve, or do
Quality
you
is
suggest?
teacher compulsory.
No. Do you think the pedagogy that is going to be used,
Yes, ma'am.
is it going to be the same old pedagogy like a PowerPoint presentation, or do you think they have to be a different set of pedagogical tools for online teaching?
Like online teaching is definitely different from the traditional mode of blackboard and this kind of teaching, blackboard and chalk teaching, because here we need to use the mouse and the keyboard, and PPT presentations we can use. So definitely the presentation, we can make it more effective than the regular mode of teaching by using the technology.
Okay, but what would be an effective class length, duration of a class, online class?
Effective means most probably 1 hour is effective time, ma'am. More than 1 hour, students cannot be attentive. What I
But
feel.
actually, results or rather studies are showing that no more than 10 minutes, people's attention for online classes is no more, they're not able to hold for more than 10 minutes.
So this
Maximum
is
is
the
20 minutes.
reason.
So,
Yes,
do you think online teaching would be effective?
that is the reason I informed no, ma'am. Counseling the students through online for motivating them and encouraging them should also be implemented.
Thank you, Radhika.
Thank you. Thank you for giving this an opportunity.
Any more questions, judges?
Yeah, Radhika ma'am, I'm Colonel Vishwanath here.
Yes,
Since you have talked about technology, ma'am, how do you feel that augmented reality-based training aids would fare as far as the teaching is concerned?
Accounting, sir.
Augmented reality-based training aids.
Reality-based training.
Augmented reality, ma'am. Have you heard about augmented reality?
No, sir, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Okay. Right, ma'am. Right. And what are the tools, like what platforms would you suggest? Because nowadays we have been told that Zoom is not safe and such like things. So, or other platforms, what should
Like
be the right platform?
my opinion is because Zoom app is belongs to China product, so I want Google to be used. Google Forms or Google Classroom is the best option, so that we can take the online classes with that, and we can share the students PPT screens and also videos, images, and we can take the attendance of the students with the Google like Google Classroom. Google Meet is the best app as per my opinion. Sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Thank you, jury members. I now request participant number 11, K. Sugna from Kasturba Gandhi Degree and PG College for Women to present her paper.
Yes, ma'am. 1 second, I'll be sharing my
Yeah,
screen.
sure.
Yeah, is my PPT visible?
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible and you're audible. You can continue.
Thank you.
Good morning to one and all. Myself Suguna from Kasturba Gandhi Degree and PG College for Women. I heartfully thank Dr. Rajeshwar Madam, Vice Principal and Head of the Department of Commerce for giving such wonderful opportunity, and I also thank to my colleagues. Today, I am going to present about COVID-19, economic fallout, future for startups and MSMEs. In India, micro and small scale industries are known as backbone of our economy since before. In 1991, the first generation economic reforms of small scale enterprises has been awarded a special status. On 1st July 2020, the government has introduced revised classification for micro, small and medium enterprises on the basis of investment in plant and machinery or equipment and annual turnover of the companies. These are the classifications of MSMEs as shown in the PPT. Next, let us see objectives of MSMEs. The main aim of MSMEs are to create large-scale employment and to spread industries and trade in economically backward areas, which helps in the development of overall economy. Now, coming to fallouts in MSMEs due to COVID-19 pandemic. In the present situation, we are all know that COVID-19 has affected in the MSMEs worstly. According to the Confederation of All India Trades, the trade impact in India is estimated to be affect around 380 lakhs. The GDP growth in India is close to 1 to 2% by the end of 2020. In 2018, GDP growth was about 4.2%. Now it has decreased. In this pandemic situation, the government is providing special packages and schemes to MSMEs. Now I am going to explain about the packages. On May 12, 2020, Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi and Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman announced 20 lakh crores for economic relief package titled Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Out of this package, 3 lakh crores as emergency credit line guarantee scheme has been provided only for MSMEs and non-banking finance companies. The government has implemented Udyam registration for MSMEs to reduce the transaction time and cost and make their work easier. The government has also provided some relaxation in GST for MSMEs. Now, coming to the conclusion, I hope that all the MSME sectors should utilize packages and schemes providing by the government and come up with new innovative ideas for startups. Let us end with some suggestions. The MSMEs need to utilize the modern technology and also develop better communication and use new media tools and can also approach consultancies for advices. Hence, the government is also giving relaxation of complex labor laws. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Sugna ma'am. Over to judges.
Yeah, one question, Sugna ma'am, from my side will be like, while government has organized or announced so many facilities for MSMEs, do you think that these are really practical, and whether in terms of implementation and execution, while this package really looks to be good on paper, but what are the key challenges do you think they are going to face while implementing these?
Yes, sir. Banks can help MSCs by providing some loans without security and encourages them.
Sugna, if banks themselves are stressed now in terms of recovery, how would they go ahead giving these kinds of loans, extending these loans to MSMEs?
I'm sorry. Please.
Banks themselves have a lot of NPAs, especially after this COVID. I think the banks might pile up a lot of SMEs.
Yes.
What do you think is a route, or what kind of what is a way out for banks if they have to lend money to these MSMEs, where if they think that they're not going to get it back? Do you think the banks will come forward?
Yes, ma'am. But in this.
Okay, thank you, jury members. Thank you, Sugna ma'am. I now call upon participant number 12, Swati Sri Nandavanam from St. Pius Degree College to present for paper.
Good morning, one and all. Ma'am, I'm sharing my screen, ma'am. 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Any problem? Sajida?
Ma'am, all okay from my side. Ma'am, can you start sharing your screen?
You want me to share my screen?
No, not you, ma'am. Swati, ma'am.
All right. Okay, fine.
Any problems, Swati ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not able to share your screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can click on the down option of share. Just now your screen was visible. I don't know what happened suddenly.
I did that, ma'am. I did that, but it is showing an option.
So you want some more time?
I'll do that, ma'am. Will you give me, ma'am, for 5 minutes?
And ma'am, can you be a bit louder? You're not audible.
Ma'am, 2 minutes, ma'am.
Sure.
Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
Okay. Meanwhile, I request participant number 13 to be ready with the presentation.
Yeah, madam, I'm ready.
Okay, so we
Am I audible, madam?
Yeah, judges, this is participant number 13, A. Sridhar and Keshav Kumar from Narayana Institute of Technology and Science. Sir, you can start. You're visible. Sir, you start sharing your screen? I can only see your video.
Yeah, madam. 1 minute. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Can you able to see my screen, madam? Now?
Yes, sir. You're audible, and we can see your screen. You can proceed.
Yeah, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much. 1 minute. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to present my paper titled called A Case Study on E-Learning During COVID-19 Lockdown, Transformation from Blackboard to Broadband. So as we are going through this a pandemic crisis, nowadays the broadband has become a very important part of a human life. So in this pandemic crisis, mainly the education sector has taken many changes during this crisis, where the education sector previously it used to there as a blackboard, but now it has changed to a broadband. So when we are coming to that broadband, and these are the few contents of my today's class, but I'm skipping this because of the time. And coming to the objectives of my today's presentation is how an online teaching can be effective using the broadband. Till now we have used to teach by the blackboard, and so that we know what is the effectiveness and what are the drawbacks and what are those difficulties which we have faced. But by using the broadband, what we are going to look at that how it can be effective. So what are the different methods to overcome the drawbacks of online teaching, and whatever the results we are going to get, that will help to take the decisions in the future. Now coming to that, our traditional the evaluation of education during COVID-19. So previously we started our education system within a Gurukul system, but now it has been transformed to a digital teacher. This digital teacher is a very important part of human beings life nowadays. Why? Because now almost all in all the sectors of the education field, this has become a very important part. Now still it is in a question mark, and is a digital teacher can be effective while teaching it on the online? So what are its problems, what are its drawbacks, and all those things which we are going to discuss in this paper. Now there are some differences between the offline mode and online mode. Let me discuss one important point here: offline mode to online mode. Whatever the methods you are following in the online mode to offline mode, but generally the students are missing the social learning environment in education. That is, they are going to how to behave with the other students, how to behave with the teachers, and all those things are going to suddenly they are going to miss by this online mode of teaching. Now coming to that, our the modes of teaching, there are actually, if you want a digital teacher has to be effective during the online, means he has to follow that an hybrid learning of teaching, and the students has to follow the hybrid learning mode. So what is the meaning of this hybrid learning? This hybrid learning is the combination of where synchronous and asynchronous mode of learning, where synchronous means where we can have an interactive sessions by giving this interactive sessions, like discussing with the students whatever the topics we covered and whatever the topics we are going to cover. And in the asynchronous mode of learning, the students are going to if the students are having any network issues, so that if we record the sessions and if we send it to them, so that they can able to see their at any their convenient time. And online engagement of not only the delivery, and the engagement of the students also very important during these online classes. That for the engagement of the students, we can use some tools like a social media map and gamification, puzzle, and online assessment. So for the most important problem that we are coming across this online assessment, that is for assessing the students, we can use the apps like Kahoot, Edmodo, Edpuzzle, and portfolios and online tests. So these are the some things which we are need to take care of while teaching teaching the online. So once again, I'm going to these slides, whatever that I explained, just I'm going through the slides. And these are some feedback results. And we conducted a case study with the permission of college authorities. And these are some feedback results which we got, and which clearly shows that our feedback is shows that online teaching is definitely a big task for the teachers, but it affects in a good manner. That is, this online teaching is definitely, I can say, that a boon for the students and the teacher in future.
Sridhar sir, kindly conclude your paper. Your time is up.
Yes, ma'am. That one last sentence, that is, the success of e-learning and adaptation and readiness lies in the collaboration and ability to work with the student. This is my conclusion about that, my paper presentation. Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah, over to jury members.
Yeah, Sridhar, one important question. This is definitely a relevant paper, not just from the education point of view, but also, see, a lot of organizational training also happens. Yeah. Again, coming back to the big setups in India, like Cognizant, Wipro, Infosys, and, TCS kind of setups. How do you think that all this online method of learning that you just mentioned can be useful in the organizational training? So if I want to just, not just students, school students, college students, it's more like organizational training. How do you think that these methodologies can be useful there?
Sir, actually, this method of mode of training we are conducted for almost at an younger students, that is freshman engineering students. For an organization training, if I speak, mostly the people whoever comes there are very, very well educated, so they know about the basics of the subjects and all those concepts related to the subject. I think that this is going to be very effective for them while teaching it in the online also. I don't think so that there will be any problem for them in learning on the online mode.
Sridhar sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
My question to you is that you have talked about mind mapping as one of the tools for keeping students engaged.
Yeah, ma'am.
Can you please talk to me about it, and how is it relevant?
Yeah, madam.
And how do you propose to do this mind mapping online?
Yeah, madam. Just I'll go through this mind mapping, madam. This mind mapping is a very efficient technology and very efficient tool which we can use for the students to learn effectively. That is, if we are teaching any one concept related to the subject, means that concept we can map it through we can ask the students to map it through the real life problems, so that they will know the importance of the subject, and as well as they know what ways you are using it in the real life. That is the way we can match both the teaching and the process in both the ways through the mind mapping, madam. So like remembering, we can improve the remembering power of the students, and we can improve the knowledge, their understanding level of the students and the knowledge level of the students. And these are the things which we can obtain from the mind mapping tool, madam. Yeah, ma'am. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Any more questions, jury members?
Yeah, Sridhar, I'm Vishwanath here.
Yes, sir.
From your presentation, it is quite aware that most of it you seem to have practiced also.
Yes, sir. Because already we have done in our college, sir.
Yeah, that is quite evident from the way you've been presenting it.
Yes.
So the only thing which comes to my mind is when you come to around testing and evaluation of the performance of students.
Yes, sir.
Through online mode, which is a challenge today. How do you overcome the cheating, plagiarism, and such like aspects?
Yes, sir. Actually, the basic thing is we are using the testing app is Kahoot, sir. Actually, previously the Kahoot is just in front of live sessions we can able to conduct it, sir. But now they transformed it into that they given avail to all the users, so that we can even conduct the test with the online mode, having with the security code also, sir. Whoever is conducting that online quiz, that he can able to secure that answers and all those things, and without knowing to the students, and he can give individually to each and every student a separate question paper, sir. So these are kind of tools are available in different technological aids. Suppose if we use them in effective manner, definitely I can say that it is going to be an effective evaluation only. Other than this, even we can use the Google Form quizzes also for each and every students to make it either by making the same shuffle in their questions, and then by making it in the picking a random questions to the random students and giving them it. So it becomes in a very evident that evaluation process also can be done very strictly during while.
Yeah, Sridhar sir, I could understand how you can bring in the randomness for various students, but in specifically, how will you know a particular student is not doing a Google and trying to answer the question?
Yeah, so for this we come across that one solution, sir. Actually, when we are given a particular slot for each and every student, and we are given that in a particular slot to student, and we arranged a some meeting app meeting to that all the class 60 students of the class at the same time at the same play at their respective places. They are in front of the camera. They are going to write the exam, sir. That is the tool which we followed while during that case studies, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank
you.
Any more questions? Thank you, jury members. Thank you, Sridhar sir, for the presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Participant number 12, Swati ma'am, are you ready with your presentation now? Sridhar sir, kindly exit the screen.
I already switched off.
Mute your video.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Up next, I call participant number 14, Vishal Malik and Kanika Mehta from University Business School, Punjab University, to present their paper.
Okay. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Kindly share your screen.
Okay, ma'am. So, is my screen visible to everyone, ma'am?
Yes, sir, your screen is visible and you're audible. Continue.
Okay, ma'am. So, good afternoon to everyone. Well, I am here to present my topic, that is pros and cons of the e-governance and ICT in this COVID era. Well, my contents are related to the pros, cons, requirements that e-government system needs in this current scenario. Well, the objectives of my study were to find the positive sides of e-governance in this COVID era, as well as to find the cons that or the challenges that the government system is facing, and also what are the possible changes that can be installed in it. And the methodology for this paper is secondary data, because we have tried to choose the data from internet, and also to find the data that was from the newspapers or articles which were reporting about this issue. Well, as we can see that my topic is on e-governance. First, let me tell you about e-governance. E-governance is the application of IT for delivering the government services, exchange of information, communication, transactions, etc. between the government to citizens, government to business, government to government, or government to employees. So, well, the areas where government is using e-governance are health awareness, railways, education, agriculture. Well, these are the key areas. Actually, government is using e-governance in most of the sectors. Like in health and awareness, we can see Arogya Setu app, which is there to tell you about any infected person is near you or not, or how many infected persons are there. In railways, we have IRCTC, which is for catering services, and in railways, we also have online ticket booking. And in education, we have the exams related exams that are conducted online. And UGC also started a portal in which you can study from the online, and you can take the online material from that. And they provided materials for different courses also to UG to PG level. And also in agriculture, we can see that the things are changing in the agriculture sector, because e-governance is now giving them more opportunities like soil testing, and they can get soil test reports online. They can get information, and they can get their crops insured. Well, the pros of the e-governance are that it is speedy and efficient, because in online it takes very less time, and democratization because our country is the largest democracy in the world. So we need to maintain some democracy in that, and in transparency also. So our e-governance system provides information to everyone. So that is why they can access the information. Anyone can access the information. And the cons of the e-governance are it has securities issue, and some privacy issues are there. Authentication is also there, that some people might get the data which they don't need and can use it for different purposes. So there is no rule that who is using that data and for what purposes. And also the technology of our country is quite backward as compared to other countries. So requirements are that we should increase the connectivity because we are more than 1.3 billion people. So we should increase our connectivity. We should make data centers so that the data can be processed. We should also make a secure delivery framework, and we should ensure the privacy. So overall we can conclude that it's a good system, but it has some drawbacks. So infrastructure should be developed so that it can be used, and in COVID era it is very good because it helps in maintaining social distancing. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Vishal Malik. Over to Judy.
Okay, Vishal, my question to you is that you have talked about the e-governance, the good and the bad of e-governance. And my question to you is, what has been the impact of COVID on the e-governance system? And has there been any drastic or changes in the e-governance? Have they taken any radical changes, made any radical changes, or introduced any radical changes?
Well, ma'am, in this COVID era, if you see that there is a rule of social distancing, so that is so e-governance has led to make it possible, ma'am. And also, is e-governance, if you see that it's not just to government or government to employees or government to citizen, it's citizen to government also. So that means that is a whole circle. So if there is change in different sectors, if you see in the education sector, ma'am, in education sector online classes were there, and many universities conducted the private universities conducted their exams. Also the UGC started a portal in which you can get the study material. So there has been a drastic change in the e-governance sector, ma'am, and that totally depends on the sector, because you cannot compare the sectors like education with the manufacturing sector, because in manufacturing sectors only meeting was there, but the process was not conducted. So it is what it was not possible through e-governance. So it depends on the sector which you are talking about. But every sector has a quite bit impact of this e-governance. And also there has been drastic change, ma'am. Yes, we can say that there has been drastic changes because many apps were built by the government. For example, you can take Aragvi Setu app. So there has been change, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any more questions, Judy? Thank you, Mr. Vishal. Last but not the least, we have participant number 15, K. Suresh from Aurora Degree and PG College for Women. So kindly present your paper. K. Suresh, participant number 15.
Madam, I'm
Yes,
Suresh
sir.
I'm Suresh from Aurora Degree and PG College. I'm presenting a paper on employment challenges and opportunity in India post COVID-19. My abstract is this lockdown has brought a severe interruption in many economic activities, which has created economic problems among the households, especially who lost their jobs and revenue stream. Due to this pandemic situation, unemployment has increased by 24%, which has shown a lot of impact on the Indian economy. And a few sectors have faced economic depression due to that reason. These sectors have removed their employees from their job. The government of India taken several steps. Introduction out of total population of India, around 40.4 crore people are under employment before pandemic. According to the CMA report, due to this pandemic, the figure of employment has come down 28.85 crores, which is include 11.9 crore job losses. The objectives of to discover the present scenario of employment situation in India during the pandemic, to indicate a few measures to overcome challenges of this situation. I collected secondary data from the various sources of newspapers, magazines, and websites. And the present scenario of employment from the end of the March by April, most of the companies have restricted one of the these three decisions: sacking the people, asking an employee to go indefinitely without pay, and slacking the salaries by 85%. Unemployment is one of the facets of a complex scenario which reflect the economic impact of individual and affects the affect the various elements. Few measures to overcome these challenges. There is a need of innovative tools to develop the collaborations in workforce. Most of the organizations have learned from the current situation and adopt the digital transformation. As IT companies, rest of the sectors also need to announce work from home to reduce the cost of maintenance. Organizations need to modernize their methods with effective use of artificial intelligence analytics and automation to serve the society in any kind of situation. It is essential to create a remote working culture to take out their employees from their depression. So my conclusion is, in this challenge situation, it is impact on manufacturers to have a coordination with the public sector, and it is essential to change their work structure for the sake of public safety. The government of India announced a variety of measures to tackle the situation, such as food security, extra funds given to the states. And this crucial time, remote working has become a survivor for the economy, and it will be sustained in the future. Therefore, it is a better to accept a new way to work culture and try to overcome the communication challenges into the brain. Thus, there is a scope to continue hold employees, and which is may lead to continue hiring talent and become one of the largest sources of employment generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suresh sir. Any questions, jury?
Suresh, what do you think will be the key areas of employment in future? Say, for example, during the 1960s and 70s, government was one of the prominent employers, yeah. And then during 80s and 90s, manufacturing and trading companies took over. And in the early 2000 and till today, it's basically the IT sector which generates a lot of employment opportunities. So in the next decade or so, what sector do you think will be the superstar in terms of generating more employment?
Actually, employment in these situations are more effective employment is given to pharmacy companies. Pharmacy and manufacturing industries and IT companies can provide employment opportunities. After recovery of COVID, most of the sectors again they come to their positions. Hello.
Continue, sir. You're audible.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Hello.
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 Suresh sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, madam.
Yeah, continue, sir.
So most of the pharmacy and IT sectors to be continued for the next few months, madam.
Goha, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Suresh, for answering that question. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, jury members. Thank you, Suresh sir. Any more questions? Thank you, respected jury. Now we have two more participants left to present their paper who were on hold, participant number 5 and participant number 12. Now I request participant number 12, Swati Sri Nandavanam from St. Pius Degree and PG College for Women to present her paper. Kavita ma'am will be sharing the screen for her. Swati ma'am, you're there? Swati ma'am, kindly unmute yourself. Participant number 12, Swati Sri Nandavanam. Ma'am, am I audible to you, Swati ma'am? Kavita ma'am, kindly say Swati ma'am to unmute herself. Swati Sri Nandavanam, can we hear from you? Kavita ma'am, any problem? Okay. Participant number 5, Mahesh Marmaraju, are you ready with your presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, I now call upon participant number 5, Mahesh Marmaraju from Vijaya Engineering College to present his paper. So kindly share your screen. Jury members, participant number 5, Mahesh Marmaraju.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, this is Swati.
Ma'am, you'll be presenting next. Now Mahesh sir is ready with his presentation.
Yeah,
So
okay,
kindly
ma'am.
be ready.
Hello.
Mahesh sir, continue.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, sir, you're audible. Kindly share your screen and start your PPT.
I'm sharing.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
I didn't get you, sir. Your screen is visible, sir. Kindly open your PPT and start it.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, your screen is visible. Kindly start your PPT and you're audible as well.
Okay, thank you.
You can start, sir. It's visible.
Biopsychosocial effects is actually is a broad topic. 99.99% of the population today is facing a pandemic for the first time in their lives. The effect of the pandemic are worse as it impacts different walks of life. Because of the time limit I have, I will dive right into the topic. Firstly, where did coronavirus come from? The novel coronavirus was first discovered in Wuhan, China, back in December 2019. Within 3 months, it spread almost every country in the world, affecting people, animals, and the environment. Impact of people during lockdown. Before we understood the effect of coronavirus, we have seen the effects of the lockdown. The lockdown was believed to be the only way in controlling the virus and was immediately implemented in all countries from underdeveloped to developed countries. This sudden change affected the biopsychosocial aspects of our lives. Social impact of people during lockdown. The sudden lockdown brought many changes to our daily routine and lifestyle, like social distancing, face masks, frequent sanitizations, travel restrictions, social distancing. The loss of quality education for children are some results of the lockdown. Phone, TV, and the internet have become the only source for social life. The lockdown greatly impacted migrant workers and people living below the poverty line, as millions lost jobs and struggled to find food and shelter. Lifestyle of people. Our lifestyle have changed. Employees are working from the while children are continuing school through distance education. We can no longer go to work, eat at restaurants, go to movie theaters. Physical distancing and self-isolation has become a part of our daily lives. Impact of COVID-19 outbreak on people health during lockdown. We are so accommodated social gatherings, traveling, and eating out because of the lockdown. Many people are forced to stay at home, not able to go to work, and with so many restrictions, they are facing psychological changes like depression, anxiety, and loneliness. Although the coronavirus showed negative effect to the people and the economy, it showed a positive impact on the environment. For years, India has been high effect of different society. Different sections of the society have been impacted due to pandemic. There has been increase in domestic violence in women. Children are missing their childhood and education, and young adults are missing out on social gatherings with friends. Old age people are scared to go out even to buy medicine, and migrant workers are unable to go back to their hometown. Conclusion. COVID has shown many effects on people and will continue to do so until a vaccine is discovered. It can be stressful at times, but it's important to take care of mental health.
Sir, I request you to conclude your paper.
Hello?
Yeah, sir, give the conclusions and conclude your paper. Sir, your time is up.
Okay, COVID has shown many effects on people and will continue to do so until a vaccine is discovered. It can be stressful at times, but it's important to take care of mental health. Keeping in touch with family and friends through social connections like phone calls and video chats can help family and friends stay connected. To better deal with future pandemics, psychological prevention models should be developed by the government and healthcare professionals. Thank you.
Respected jury, any questions?
No questions.
No, thank you. No questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have our last participant, participant number 12, Swati Srinandavanam from St. Pius Degree College to present her paper. Ma'am,
thank you, ma'am. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am. I am Swati Sri, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, St. Pius Degree and PG College for Women. My title is Digitalization of Education in India during the lockdown, pros and cons. Next slide, ma'am. With the lockdown resulting in schools and colleges closing, students and teachers are alike have turned to edtech platforms to maintain academic momentum. Aside from the just academic content, they also enable students to gain skills and even prepare for the competitive examinations. But there are always two sides to every story. E-learning has far its fair share of pros and cons. They are easy, convenient access and more individual attention, time management and setting a schedule, lack of social invention and customization. Ma'am, next slide, ma'am. The conventional and traditional teaching and learning method says that traditional teaching has been around for thousands of years, shaping the minds of so many scholars, workers, and ordinary man. Through formal education, traditional teaching methods, students have learned what they need to do in the real world. Next slide, ma'am. Digitalization through high-tech methods are nothing but digitalization changes the dynamics of the education incredibly. The advantages of the digitalization include so many features like demonstrative, easy connectivity, accessibility, student-centric learning, transparency, accountability, and innovative. Coming to the accessibility, we do have many online platforms like Zoom, Google Classroom, and not only that, we do have accountability is through different kinds of platforms where we'll be using digital classrooms and allow the educators to engage with students in real time by sharing the lessons, videos, worksheets, assignments, and also a few of the debates like Kaboom, quizzes, and these are some of the apps which will increase the innovative thought of the student. Coming to the constraints of digitalization, I would like to express few of the views. There is a lack of control over the class and scope of manipulative approaches also. Students are vulnerable to distractions that are difficult to be monitored by the teacher, and minimum scope for the teacher to foster social skills and emotional growth of the students. And digitalization demands high cost resources for the teachers and learning. Next slide, ma'am. Coming to the impact of digitalization, I would like to say that the literacy rate in India is 64.8%, recommendable increases since Indian economy is considered as a developing market, but the government made policies and allocated substantial funds for the betterment of the education. And though it's clear, very much efforts are made in the education, and the urban India and the rural India responded to the lockdown as two different nationalities. Coming to the rural India, problems for the rural schools are teacher compensation, school employees, school buildings, technology, and the funding. Next slide, ma'am. I would like to conclude that education is the fundamental right of every child and should not remain a dream. Lockdown has definitely taught us many lessons and projected to the loopholes in the education system in India. The government also realized how unprepared it is in coping up the unprecedented disasters and the need for the introspection of its policies. Digitalization of the education needs preparation, finance, and management. New strategies should be adopted by the government and education institutions to address the rising apprehensions of the student, teacher, and the parent communities. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Good presentation. My question to you is, can you identify some of the areas in education where you think online education would work best and areas where you think that it may not work that well?
Ma'am, I think student-centered learning is the best thing, ma'am, where the live lectures can be recorded for the self-paced learning of the students, and there's also possibility for repeated learning.
I'm talking about sectors like whether in school, colleges, or it could be engineering element, if you can say which areas you think it will be very effective.
Sorry, ma'am.
No problem.
Ma'am, was the question audible to you, Swati ma'am?
Ma'am, can you please repeat that, ma'am? Sorry, ma'am.
Oh, you want me to repeat the question? I just wanted you to just suggest the areas where this online teaching will be very effective and one or two educational areas where you think that it may not be that effective. I'm done.
Swati ma'am, will you like to answer the question?
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, no problem, ma'am. Thank you, Radhika ma'am. Any more questions, respected jury?
Swati ma'am, I'm Colonel Vishwanath here. You had mentioned about digital divide in the rural as well as in urban India itself.
Yes,
so, what do you feel are the challenges with respect to rural, and how can we overcome the same?
Sir, coming to the... Sir, am I audible, sir? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Coming to the rural, sir, since coming to digitalization in rural India, 66% of the children study in the public schools, sir, due to various limitations such as gender inequity, poor infrastructure, and also limited resources and funds, and unavailability of well-trained teachers also, sir. The regular classroom teaching also remains a dream come true for many enthusiastic aspirants, sir. And because of that, malnutrition is also playing a negative role in the physical and mental growth of the children in villages and also in the low income groups, sir. Hello?
Ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So with this presentation, we come to an end of our presentation session. Thank you all presenters for amazing and informative presentations. Thank you to the respected jury members. Moving on forward, now we proceed to the next session of the conference, that is panel discussion among jury members. And once the panel discussion is over, we conclude the results, and I request participants not to leave the conference because feedback link will be provided and filling the feedback form is compulsory to get the certificates. Over to jury members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thanks a lot. This was an interesting and a great session. I would definitely like to thank the organizers, first of all, starting with Dr. Rajshri ma'am and the entire management of Kasturba Gandhi Degree and PG College for Women.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks to
Kumar. Thank you.
Kavita. Yeah, sure. Thanks to Kavita, Sajida, Shashi Rekha, and the entire organizing committee as well. So they have actually put up a great show, and this actually was very smooth. In fact, I have been attending a lot of online sessions in the last 150 days. So, so I know that technology can always play a spoil sport, but so, and also a couple of my thoughts on this COVID. See, mankind's history has actually seen a lot of big events: World War One, World War Two, Indian freedom struggle, global economic crisis. And if I really compare this event, this also is a truly black swan event. Yeah. When we define black swan means that it's once in a very rare occurrence kind of an event. Yeah. And also in all probability this will be once in a lifetime scenario for all of us actually. So this is new for us. Nobody has faced such a situation in earlier days. So this is the first time all of us are facing, and that's the challenge and the beauty of the entire situation. I know that media always tends to point only towards the negatives of the situation, but there are lots and lots of positives that is actually coming out of this crisis. We as a society have involved. Yeah. If I want to compare, say for example, even to the last crisis that we had is demonetization. Yeah. So initially there was setback, but in reality, it has now given a great impetus to the digital economy of the country. Yeah, India remains today one of the biggest user of online transactions, digital payment platforms, and also the cashless payments. So similarly, if I look at COVID situation, the speed with which we have moved to the work from situation, whether it's the office, even as I'm talking about even government of India, for as a matter of fact, the state-run banks, the private banks, the big organizations like TCS, Cognizant, even the investment banks like Citi, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs. The speed with which we all of us have actually moved into work from home situation is commendable and phenomenal. In fact, all of us need to put a pat on the back. Not just that, if I want to go to colleges or even schools, which they have also moved into this online platforms. In fact, the way in which it has been done definitely means that all of us are highly technology savvy. This is a technology savvy country, and that augurs well for the economy as a whole. And also colleges like Kasturba Gandhi College, which are going to supply future talent to the Indian industry. All the students will be taking a post in the government, they'll be taking a post in the banks, they'll be going into the army. Definitely this crisis actually in reality has generated a lot of opportunity. Again, if I want to really go into some of the key presentations, Dedi Priya's presentation, wherein she mentioned that it's a great opportunity for India as a country, and India has a good pool of talent. Yeah. And it is not very surprising that today, if you see, a lot of global CEOs are actually Indians. Say for example, Google CEO is there, Mastercard CEO, then PepsiCo CEO. It has not happened by chance. It has happened with good deal of training, the opportunities India as a country has provided, and also the systems. So again, in terms of COVID 19, some of the immediate benefits that we have said, see, a lot of friends who are in Delhi, they have said that the pollution's level have come down. Yeah. All of us are spending more time with the family. And again, there was one point in Sridhar's presentation wherein mentioned about the training opportunities which are existing in terms of the online classroom training. So absolutely, very, very important. Social, family, and organization support, as mentioned by Charita in her presentation, is extremely, again, very, very important. Yeah. So definitely a lot of positives to this entire, thing. And of course, yes, we do see a raising number of cases of COVID every day. I also, track the development of vaccine in the country. I know that we are still very, very far off. And my friends in Bharat Biotech or in Serum Institute tell me that optimistically looking, we are looking only at January. yeah, for development of vaccine. August 15 looks to be politically right date, but it will be very, very tough to develop a vaccine by that time, because it has to undergo that human trials as well. Yeah. So, but however, as the vaccines are under development at this point of a time, what is extremely important is that we make the best use of the situation. Social distancing is a constraint. Yes, economy has taken a beating. That is also a reality. But there are a lot of positives as well, which we can take advantage of in this situation. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on the overall situation. And once again, this was a very interesting session. Last 3 hours were very well spent. I would like to congratulate all the 15 participants for doing an in-depth research into this topic. They have worked very hard. Yesterday night, I took a look at the papers as well. So all of them have really researched very well. So congratulations to all of them. Of course, there will be some winners in this competition, which obviously some competitions do give a winners. But however, kudos to all the participants for their hard work. And thanks again to the college management for giving me this opportunity to participate as jury. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Guha, for all your valuable inputs. I really appreciate you and the other jury members for being part of our conference today.
Thank you, Guha Prasad sir. Participants, I know you all must be waiting for the results. Meanwhile, you all can post any queries or any doubts in the feedback session. The jury is deciding the winners for the day.
Any questions for the jury from the participants? I know you are all young people. You have a lot of thoughts, a lot of good ideas. The way in which the training can be conducted in future is something which is going to be undergo a lot of innovation in future. Yeah. Any questions for the jury? I will take that as a no. Thank you.
So we have a question here from Manish Sharma. He's asking, sir, do you think exam-based education should change now?
Yeah. Sorry, I just missed the last part of it. Can you repeat the question?
Sure, sir. Mr. Manish Sharma is asking, sir, do you think exam-based education should change now?
Okay. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Manish. Very relevant question. And see, my 2 cents, and of course, others can also add what is their view on this. Definitely, this exam-based system, while it has its own negatives, it has a lot of positives as well. And we, India as a country, if you want to say the workforce, the way in which we have evolved in the last 2 to 3 decades, is because of the education system. Yeah, of course, I said that it's not completely positive. There are some drawbacks which we need to definitely work upon, but we definitely cannot do completely away with the way in which exams are done. See, if a subject is there, evaluation has to be done. Yeah. So that we clearly know whether the participants have learned the subject very well. Is there any thought process in terms of what has not been learned, and how we can actually go about it. And by the way, this is not just true for schools, it is not just true for colleges, but even for postgraduate institutions, even in IIMs, evaluation has to be done. This has been debated very well, that while quality of students come to both IITs and IIM, should we really evaluate them? But then again, the thought process very clearly is that evaluation has to happen. We cannot do away with examinations. And even if you come to the workplace scenario, performance appraisal is done every year. Yeah, it is another kind of evaluation. It's not an exam, but definitely an evaluation. Yes, the modes of evaluation emerge with time. It needs to, but we cannot. I don't think so. We should be doing away with the system. The way in which we administer the examinations can differ. Say, for example, one of the very interesting points came up is that to prevent plagiarism, how we should do that. So one of the presenters suggested that we should have a separate unique question paper to different participants. That definitely is a great thought. So the way in which we administer the examinations can change. If you want to look at some of the global examinations, they don't follow a date methodology. You can give the exam as and when you're ready. For example, a GMAT, you don't really need to say that it is going to occur every March. As and when you are ready, you can schedule the examination, go to the center and give the examinations, right? So yes, we cannot do away with that, but definitely that is a system that need to keep evolving. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Excuse me, sir. This is Sridhar Hakula. I'm having a one question for you, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, actually, during this pandemic crisis, most of the members are saying that we should avoid the examination process and all those things. But if we avoid the examination process, now as we know that there will be many engineering graduates and will be coming every year throughout the
Yeah,
country. So is this
very
going to
important.
be an effect on our country in future if we without conduct the exams and give away the certificates?
Very important point, Sridhar. Again, see, yeah, that's a worry for all of us in the industry as well. See how it will impact us, how it will impact the economy is that if the exams are not held on time, the people will not graduate, and if the people don't graduate, how are we going to take the workforce for our expansion? Yeah. So always a big organization like Google or Amazon or even as a matter of fact, we do form 5-year plans, 10-year plans, how the new talent will come into the organizations. So it's a cause for concern, not just for the institute or the education ministry, it's a cause for concern for the industry as well. Yeah. To see how are we going to get our future talent. If the exam gets delayed, people will not pass out on time. As a result, we also get impacted. Yeah. So there are a couple of ways in which this can be handled. In fact, I was going through the National Open Schooling website day before yesterday. The way they have done is that they have gone ahead and given a at least from the 10th class point of view, they have cleared all the people based upon the assignments that they have submitted. Yeah. So that's a great thing actually. Yes, waiting for the examinations to occur till the last. So if you are waiting for COVID to lift and then hold the examination, you never know when the COVID will lift or when the lockdown is going to completely go away. Nobody can really predict that. Yeah. But at the same time, at this point of a time, a conscious call might need to be taken, so it cannot be delayed too much also, because students have prepared for the examination, they have worked hard throughout the entire year. Beyond a time, there is no point in waiting at the first place. So in case there is other methods of evaluation apart from online, or might be based upon the assignments that have been submitted. Yes, we can actually as a society take a conscious call that okay, fine, you can move to the next level. Yeah. So yes, there has to be some alternate method, but I'm sure that education ministry might be already working on that. They also know the impact of this entire process getting delayed. It will have a long-term implication.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request respected jury members to kindly join us for the conference call for the panel discussion. Meanwhile, I request the participants to have a look at the video of our college, which will be displayed on the screen. And the results will be announced soon once the panel discussion is over. Thank you. In the video. Jury members, a humble request to you all to kindly join us for the conference call for panel discussion.
Sorry, is there any conference call invite for that? Anything that you have sent across?
Sir, yeah, you'll be getting a call, sir. You'll be getting.
Okay, great. Then I will log off and then log into that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks
Thank
all
you.
for giving the chance. Great meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the lovely words. Thank you. Kavita ma'am, audio as well. Participants, do not leave. Kindly be patient. Feedback form will be shared here in the chat box, and as well as results will be announced. And I repeat, filling the feedback form is compulsory to get your certificates. So kindly be with us.
nonetheless, ma'am, in this entire, my assessment, ma'am, like I shared with you, Radhika, I found the speaker number one. That people can have. Yes. Right. Yeah, even I found that. She was very nice. Very nice. Yes. Yeah, even her presentation was very good. She didn't follow the same typical PPT presentation. She didn't do that. So that is interesting. And probably she should have called it a case study. A case study, yeah. But then content-wise, she
Savita
did a
ma'am,
good
can
job.
you please mute
Yes,
the
ma'am.
jury
Yes, I'm in
members?
agreement with you. And third, next time, I stated was yes, exactly.
Kavita
Yes.
ma'am, am I audible to you?
Mute all this.
నువ్వు అది చేసినా ఫస్ట్ అందరికి వినిపిస్తుంది అది చేసినా
Maybe there, yeah, I was just now. Yeah, I don't know.
Participants, the panel discussion is in process. Kindly be patient and enjoy the video. Some glimpses of our college is presented here.
afternoon, everybody. This is Radhika Meenakshi. We are ready with the results. May we announce? Hello, can
Yes,
you hear me?
Kavita?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Hello. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
yes. Yeah, Radhika, we can hear you.
Yeah, Radhika.
Are we okay? Can I announce the
Yes.
results?
Yes, Radhika.
Yes, yes.
So we are happy to come out with the results. The first prize goes to Dedithya, contestant number 3.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
very well put up.
Thank you.
The second prize goes to Mr. Sridhar, contestant number 13.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Sridhar.
Congratulations,
you, madam.
Mr. Sridhar. Congratulations.
Thank you, madam.
Third
Thank you very much.
prize
Thank you very much.
goes to Akriti, contestant number 1.
Congratulations, Akriti.
Congratulations, Akriti. Well
Thank
done.
you.
So thank you. It was very enjoyable for all of us and a great learnings from all of you. Just a small advice and a recommendation, humble recommendation is that you people should have arranged your report paper, not all of you, but some of you, the arrangement of a report in terms of a research paper is different from your PhD thesis presentation. So when you're sending something for publication, it should be in a certain format. Please try and follow that format because we had people who had given chapterization in your articles, which is not recommended. Number 2, it's also not recommended that you don't write, that you have not made any references at all. So this is very important that you show that although most of it is from your field study, you have also taken a backup of your secondary data. So it's highly recommended that all of you also again go through some of these norms for how to write a research paper. In fact, I think we should have a good webinar on how to write a research paper, which will be very useful in going ahead. So thank you very much.
Thank you, organizers, Rajshri, Dr. Rajshri, the vice principal, and the organizers. It was a wonderful experience listening to all these papers and the different points of view. And I think all the participants did a good job. And of course, there will always be a room for improvement. And I'm sure you will be taking our suggestions in the right spirit. So, Boon or Bane, I don't think it's still very inconclusive. You cannot really conclude if COVID-19 is going to be a boon or bane. It all depends on where you are looking at from. So I think the topic itself is good and it's debatable. And most of you have covered have taken a stance, and I think especially some of you have taken a positive one, the gleaming side of COVID-19. I think that gives us a positive way to look at the difficult times that we live in. So I thank you all for giving me this opportunity and to interact with all of you and learn something new today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neela. Thank you, Radhika.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Colonel Vishwanath here.
Yeah, that's.
You've given us a wonderful opportunity to be part of this seminar. And I was quite surprised to see the wide range of topics which were covered under Boon or Bane. Like ma'am had brought out right from education to MSME to the gleaming side. It was actually a lot of learning for me myself. But like I would like to agree with the other juries also. Once it comes to a paper presentation and its publications, there are certain formats and norms which required to be followed. If that has been adhered to, then it would have been much better. That's just a suggestion from our side. And again, ma'am, I thank you all for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Colonel, for being here with us. Thank you for your precious time. I really appreciate all the jury members for giving their valuable contributions and time and making this a grand success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
And participants, congratulations to all of you. Each and every participant, I congratulate you wholeheartedly and wish you all the best in all your future endeavor. And please keep up the spirit of viewing COVID as a boon rather than a bane. Surely we'll come out of it, all of us, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody, for this lovely.
Thank you, respected jury members, for your valuable time and inputs. I once again congratulate all the prize winners and participants. Kindly do not leave the session because feedback form will be shared in the chat box. Meanwhile, I welcome Ms. D. Kavita from Department of Commerce to propose the concluding vote of thanks for today's conference. Kavita ma'am, I kindly request you to propose a vote of thanks. Participants, kindly fill the feedback form. The link will be shared in the chat box. Filling the form is compulsory to get it.
Hello, Sajida, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, clearly audible.
Can hear you, Kavita.
Thank you, Sajida. So I, Kavita, vote of thanks on
Other
behalf of
participants to kindly mute your. Ma'ams, kindly mute your session.
Please, all of you mute your. Okay.
Continue, ma'am.
Yeah. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the Department of Commerce and Organizing Committee. I extend a very heartfelt vote of thanks.
First teacher. Shopping for clothes.
Radhika ma'am, can you please mute?
Yeah, sorry. I extend a very heartfelt vote of thanks to the honorable delegates who blessed us with their presence and took out valuable time from their busy schedule. First, I would like to thank our chief guest, Professor Krishna Kumar, Head Department of Commerce, Osmania University, for sparing his valuable time for gracing today's conference and delivering the keynote address. Thank you, sir, for your very interesting and thought-provoking address and enlightening us with your commendable talk. I take immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to all the jury members, Dr. Radhika Meenakshi Shankar, Mr. V.A. Guha Prasad, Colonel Vishwanath Kannan, and Dr. Neela Kameshwari for accepting our request and being here with us today out of their busy schedule. A big thank you to all our jury members for their enormous support, effort to view and judge all the presentation. We are truly humbled by your presence. Thank you once again. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to our beloved Vice Principal and Head Department of Commerce, Dr. Rashri, for providing encouragement, support, and for giving us an opportunity to organize this conference. It has been our pleasure to host all the participants of the conference. The participants were very enthusiastic. We have been fortunate to have some of the eminent persons from academia and research of different states to be a part of this conference. I'm very much thankful to all the participants of this conference, and I heartily congratulate all the winners as well as the presenters for their active participation in this conference. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight and needs meticulous planning and execution and an eye for detail. In this regard, I also extend my big thanks to our convener, T. Sushma Sadanand, and executive team members Varalakshmi, Mamta, Sajida, Shravani, Shashireka, and Monica for their dedication and enthusiasm, who went an extra mile and worked their tail off and made this conference happen. Their determinations are commendable, and it is their hard work which made this conference a huge success. Thank you, each and everyone, for being a part of this conference. Thank you all. So a kind note for all the participants. Okay, kindly fill the evaluation form to get your e-certificate. So, and the evaluation form will be shared in the WhatsApp group. So thank you one and all for making this event a very grand success. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita ma'am. Thank you so much for such a lovely vote of thanks. And now we come to an end of our today's conference. It was amazing having you all as participants. And it was an immense and a great learning. And now we conclude our today's conference for the day. And I request the participants to kindly fill the feedback form and then exit the group. Thank you all once again. Thank you. I request Mamta ma'am to kindly share the feedback link in the chat box. Yeah, the feedback link is already shared in the chat box. Participants kindly fill it. And you will be giving your EAT certificates once you fill the feedback.
Excuse me, madam, can you share the feedback form in the WhatsApp group, madam, so that it...
So it is actually shared in the chat box, sir. You can fill it from there. Okay, for your convenience, I will ask ma'am if it is permissible. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group as well. And presenters will be given certificate for questions, whereas participants will be given their participation certificates. Thank you all once again. Now I take your kind permission to leave the group. Thank you.